right. Unfortunately, I was not even able to record our last game because of sound issues. I'm really just kicking myself because I have a checklist of everything I check before the game begins, and it was that one day I forgot to check my checklist, and then the setting wasn't there to record voice. So there was no voice recorded in the last game, so I can't obviously you can't watch it because it doesn't make any sense. So, however, we can just do a brief review of everything that happened in the last game. Obviously, so the last game, you guys are now in White Plume Mountain. You are on the hunt for the 3 sentient weapons of Grapples. In the last game, you guys were in a frictionless room, and you did manage to get across that frictionless surface by using some ingenuity, creating vines and stuffing the spike pits with vines so you won't die to the poison.
Vines and corpses.
Yes, and you were managed to get a rope across and get everybody across. Right after you got past that room, you kind of Mr. Magoo'd yourself directly into the room with Blackrazor. You guys just kind of made the right turn to come into a room that was a terraced aquarium. It was like the clue, the poem said, it was an inverted ziggurat. A ziggurat is like a pyramid.
Yeah! When we went into that room and I saw the picture, I was like, wait a minute, there was something about an upside down inverted ziggurat, and I'm like, that looks like a ziggurat.
That exactly was an inverted ziggurat. And you guys managed to get through it fairly easily by casting sickening radiance and killing all the horrible monsters inside this multiple layers of water and land. You just pretty much just wipe them all out. Before going down into the door, you activated the trap that unleashed all the water. However, you were able to drink a potion of water breathing beforehand. You did not. Water breathing. Oh, you cast water breathing beforehand. You did not drown. And after a few hours, the water drained out. So luckily, that's no longer an issue. You guys opened the door and you ended up in a room that's very cushy, finely furnished room with a little halfling gentleman by the name of Quesneth. At first, he seemed to be pretty harmless. He said that he was a prisoner of Caraptus and he'd been trapped here for hundreds of years, serving out a 1,000-year sentence for betraying Caraptus. He was just trapped here as a prisoner. You guys didn't do anything else. You didn't question him. But you were kind of suspicious. But you just kind of let him go. He walked out of the hallway behind you. While he was doing that, you guys began to search the room, and you happened to look into the fine couch. You cut it open, and you found Blackrazor. A fine,
one of the sentient weapons.
One of the sentient weapons, a powerful obsidian greatsword brimming with magic. You can see the cosmos as you stare into the blade of the sword. Is made of some unknown material. It gently vibrates as you picked it up.
You said obsidian, though. Is it made of obsidian, or does it just look like obsidian?
It's obsidian colored.
Okay, so
you have no idea what's made out of. It is made out of some extraplanar substance.
An extraplanar substance or ancient netherese material.
It is just brimming with magical power. You can even feel it kind of emanating as you pick it up and the hilt begins to vibrate. But the minute you did that, you noticed that Quesneth, your new halfling friend, had been keeping tabs on what you were doing through the corner of his eye, even though you're trying to keep him distracted. As you pick up the weapon, he turned on you, and he screams out, "You could have left well enough alone. Now, I must fulfill my contract to correct this." And as he says this, he transforms into a large, horrific-looking ogre mage. You know what an ogre mage is because you've encountered one before.
You fought one in, or at least me and Gray fought one in that one room in the Zipe and the...
Yes, Zipe was one, but I wouldn't call what you did with him fighting. That was more like cheesing.
No, we snuck up on him and assassinated him.
But this time you do not have that kind of advantage. He turns to you, his claws sharp like razors, as he takes out a long reach weapon, a glaive. And you can see magic brimming in his hands as he has a readied action for when someone disturbed his treasure trove. And he launches his readied action, but since you guys have been somewhat suspicious of him to begin with, I will be nice to you. He doesn't surprise you. But his readied action will go off. Let's roll initiative.
Oh, yes. Let's steal a great sword.
Not a low roll.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, nobody beat Quesnef's initiative.
No, my initiative sucked.
Mine was the worst.
Did he roll a nat 20 on his initiative?
Quesnef has a very high
Dexterity.
dex bonus. So now you are embroiled in battle for real. Quesnef raises his free hand and starts swirling it around in a circle in the air as a spell is cast. You don't know what spell it is. I'll give you a chance to announce counterspell if you want to.
Sure. If he's casting a spell, which...
Are you sure about the counterspell? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What level of counterspell are you casting? 3 or 4?
I'll cast it. You know what? I'll cast it at 4th level.
Okay, you attempt to counterspell him at level 4. He counterspells your counterspell. However, he counterspells your counterspell with a level 3 counterspell. Therefore, he has to roll against your counterspell. He's going to roll his charisma against a DC 14.
Okay.
Ready?
Let's do this.
He counters your counterspell. And his horrific, nasty level 5 spell goes off.
Oh no, that's...
He opens his palm and a swirl of blizzard power flies out of it, unleashing a cone of cold over everybody. So we gotta do some targeting. Everybody rolls a Constitution save for half damage. Oh, we got some successes. Unfortunately, Gregory fails. Wow, those were some good rolls. You guys are very lucky.
Nat 20.
8d8 cold damage.
Oh my goodness.
Gregory, were you concentrating on something?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, let me get rid of that then. You had polymorph on. I'm not sure why. I just got rid of it. He unleashes his gale of cold and he says, "Prepare to die, you fools." It is Khalil's turn, and Khalil, badly injured by that cone of cold, takes out his bottle of poison, he pours his entire bottle of poison, coating his sword. And Khalil says, if I die now, it was an honor. to help those who save my life. That is the way of the desert. You are the most horrible thing I've ever faced. But you will die nonetheless. And Khalil runs up and says, "Die, demon!" launching his scimitar. Unfortunately, he does not get sneak attack because you're not adjacent. Ooh, Khalil hits. Fails the saving throw. Khalil does 3d6 poison damage, severely wounding him. Khalil has a second attack. Also a hit.
Oh wow, Khalil's our MVP.
Olaf, you're up.
Okay, am I within melee with him, or?
No, you're not. You're like 5 feet away.
Alright.
Actually, you should be here. There we go.
Okay. I will back up a hair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then-
We have token lock on. I don't know why. So.
Okay.
Here, it's off.
Okay. I will back up.
As you back up, he opportunity attacks you. He has a 10-foot range.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Sure.
He takes out his glaive and strikes at you. Oh.
I was gonna say, didn't he use his reaction to counterspell my counterspell?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thank you for reminding me. You're correct. That was some good lawyering. You might have just saved Olaf's life. Go ahead. I honestly forgot that.
He's too excited, wasn't you?
No, you know what? He's got 2 reactions. I'm just kidding. No, that's one thing in 5th edition that they don't have. They don't have any creatures with multiple reactions, unlike Pathfinder, where you can stat out your character to do 8 opportunity attacks.
Man. That's
So, Olaf, remember we discussed the rules of the Guardian of Faith?
Yep. Are we changing it that he has to enter the area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you put it, if you
like not in the area.
yeah, you can cast it on him, but unless he moves within it, it doesn't affect him.
Okay. That's why I'm.
If Khalil and I are in it, will it affect us, or?
No, it's only enemies.
No, just only enemy. So if he decides to come into this area over here, that's fun. I will cast Guardian of Faith to there, and then I will.
Yeah, because it's a token, so it's easier if I just put something on it. I wish you know what would really help if they had a Fantasy Grounds had something that turns tokens into art object layers. That's something I would really love. Someone can make that extension.
So, I will do that. I will then move off to the side a little bit to get out of his line of sight, and I will then bonus action cast Shillelagh on my spoon in case I do get into close contact with him. And that will be my turn.
Gray, it's your turn, and as you're standing next to Blackrazor, it begins to vibrate, and it hums, and you hear it speak, and it says, "Wield me." You're not sure if it's talking to you. Obviously, it doesn't have eyes or a face. It just spoke. It just spoke.
I kind of look over a little creeped out and say, "Where's a big paladin when we need one?" So I will. First thing I'll do is going to cast Hunter's Mark on the ogre. And then, as a bonus action, and then I am going to try a ricochet shot. 2 ricochets. So I picked the second one, 2 successful ricochets. I just had to pick the one that the second one is, or?
Yes, the wisdom save for 2 ricochets is to pick that second save.
Right.
I believe it's DC 12 wisdom.
Does that go in the tower, or?
It doesn't matter because the results are obvious.
Did it do it?
No, you applied the effect to yourself, but you didn't roll that save.
So I have to. Oh, okay. I have to go back and roll the my.
Yeah, so you see,
there.
there's a whole bunch of buttons. There's 3 save buttons, so you have to roll the save on yourself.
Okay, so all right. You'd think I'd know this by now.
You rolled a 10. Was that? No, that wasn't a save.
Was from that was a save.
It said check, not save.
Oh,
because
okay.
your
I
wisdom
picked up the wrong
modifier
one.
is +2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I picked up the wrong dice.
Yeah, just roll it
Correct.
again. Just roll it again.
Man. There we go.
Ooh, you rolled a nat 1.
That said it was a 17. It was a 17 on my screen.
It was a 17? You got to get your screen fixed.
My dice actually came up 17. Unless it rolled one more time and then disappeared quickly.
I didn't even see. I didn't even see your dice. That attack is no good.
Yeah, it's not.
You have a second attack though.
Yeah,
and you may attempt this again.
Oh, might as well. Do I have to do the effect again, or is it still
you have to roll another save. The effect is, you put the effect on yourself, so the effect is still there.
Alright. Let's see if I can get this dice right.
Oh my goodness. You try some fancy bow work, but your fingers are frozen from that cold of cold.
All 10's not the first one. I thought 10 was 12.
Yeah, you rolled.
Okay.
Unless you, it's already after the roll. You can't go back and say I was rolling the first one.
Oh, I was confused. You're right. Okay.
Your fingers are frozen and icy, and you cannot properly cock your bow, and the arrows fly wildly out of off the target. And once again,
wow,
the sword asks, "Wield me." Gregory, it's your turn. Oh, actually, do you want to take? I'm sorry, you have a movement and bonus action.
I just want to move out of the line of sight of the.
You don't want to pick up the sword?
Can I pick up the sword and move, or?
Picking up a sword is a free part of your bonus action, free action.
Okay, I'll pick up the sword then.
Are you picking up just to stow it, or are you wielding it as it's asking?
Well, if I can stow my bow over my shoulder, then I'll wield it.
Yeah, you're by the rules you're technically not allowed to, but for instance, you can stow this turn, and then next turn you can wield. That's the technical rules, but for our purposes, it's okay. You can do it.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Yeah,
then.
because those rules get really, really kind of wacky, especially when you're a shielded cleric, because you have to have a hand free to cast spells, and then you're like, oh well, this turn, and I stow, and I take it out, and I stow. It just gets real wacky. So I just simplify it. Neither both you and the enemies, you can wield and stow. That's fine.
Okay.
So you grab the sword?
Yes.
You grab the sword and it brims with power. Complete your move action.
Okay. I'm going to move. I do want to be out of his sight, so I'm going to move up to here, which I'll still be out of his sight, but I'll still be within reach of him when I take my next turn. So that's all I need to do then right now?
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't actually have the sword in my inventory, but...
You don't have it in your inventory. We'll figure it out next turn.
Okay.
Yeah, you have the sword in your hands. You have
okay.
You have the fabled Blackrazor in your
Okay.
hands, and it's vibrating wildly. You do not think you can possibly strike with this weapon with the amount that it's vibrating. Gregory, you're up.
All right, so I know he just used one of his third level slots to
Actually,
counterspell my counterspell.
Actually, that's not true, because you noticed when he countered your counterspell that he had a ring that you recognize very much because it's a ring of spell storing. He used his ring of spell storing to throw out a counterspell.
Okay.
This is actually where you guys got your original ring of spell storing. Actually, no, you didn't get it from him. You got it from somebody else.
That's not because the other guys got it too.
Maybe got it from, I think
Both groups had it when we came together, so...
Well, I think what I'll do... Which I don't really know, like... Fighting one of these guys in the past, he's probably got quite a few spells that are third level and higher, so what I'm thinking of doing... Try to get him to exhaust his spells without getting myself killed.
Well, that's how he's gonna exhaust his spells, by killing you. I think that's his plan.
Yeah. Or he's gonna kill me by exhausting his spells, but... And I'm pretty beat up from that blast of cold. So, I think what I'll do... I wonder if this spell works in this area. Ooh! You know what? I think I'll try it. Let's see. It's 100. Let's see if I can get a better description. Oh. You know what? I think this will work. I'm going to cast Erupting Earth. With him centered in a way that it's not going to hit Khalil.
Okay. You had that memorized? I didn't even know you had that.
I had it prepared. Oh, wow, and the token's at the right size, too.
Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Who the hell even knows anymore? Okay, you can go ahead and move the token to where you want it to.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's letting me do it, though.
I can move it. Oh.
Perfect.
Oh, somehow the token is stuck to him somehow. Why is that?
No.
Why is this token stuck on him? This is bizarre.
Weird.
Just, your guys' input.
I've never had this before. This is... Hold on. I don't know what to do. The token's stuck on him.
I guess we could just use theory of the mind and just say I'm targeting the...
I know what you're trying to do. I just don't know why the token is... You must have glued the token on him somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how, but... How I would have pulled that off, but... That's all I did was tried to...
No, you're supposed to be able to do that, but that extension has never worked for me. It's a Rob Tui extension that you can put auras on your character and the tokens get glued together. but that's never actually worked for me. I don't know why it's now. I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to put an erupting earth behind him.
Or like at least where he's in it, but Khalil is.
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Okay. We'll just say that.
Alright, and is he targeted? It doesn't look like he's targeted as far as I'm concerned. I'll target him. Let's see, control flip. Okay, click on mine. And control flip. Oh, that's odd. Alright, okay. Control flip. Targeted. No, it's not targeting. What in the heck?
Maybe it's because your erupting earth token is on top of it. There you go. You got him.
I was holding the wrong button. That was the problem. There we go. So I'm gonna cast the spell. He has to roll a save. And
he epically fails his save. Epically.
That's a critical failure for him.
And this boss over here does not have legendary resistance. He takes all of your damage.
All right.
Getting Gregory.
Ooh. Wow. Not as much as I would have liked, but
I'm not hearing any spell effect.
I heard sizzle. I heard it sizzle.
The sizzle, I missed that.
Now, are there other effects of erupting earth?
Let me use up a 3rd level spell slot to do that, and let's see. I'm trying to find out what other effects that
yeah, let me see. So he took the damage on a failed save, or half as much on the 6. Additionally, the ground in the area becomes difficult terrain. Okay, so it just puts him in difficult terrain.
And how long does that last? Okay. Oh, is it indefinite? I don't know.
This is a spell that doesn't. There's no concentration. That ground is. That ground is just permanently difficult terrain, unless cleared away by hand.
It takes a minute to do that, which would be 10 rounds in combat.
Yeah, he's not interested in clearing away the rubble.
No, he's interested in killing us.
He's interested in clearing away the rabble. That's what he's interested in.
And then I'm gonna just scoot over to here.
So everybody's out of his line of sight, correct?
And then I will end my turn.
Okay. Everybody's out of his line of sight. He begins on his turn, and you see he begins to regenerate. As if things were not bad enough, he regenerates as well.
Yeah, that's bad.
Since everybody is out of his line of sight, he knows you cannot counterspell what he's going to do next. He targets a point right in the center of the room. And he begins casting another spell as his hand begins to wave back and forth, conjuring the shards of magic. And he says, and he screams out, and you can't see him, but you hear him. He says, "You will freeze in the icy turns of hell," as he casts Ice Storm.
Oh no. I guess I better start thinking of a new character.
He's gonna get he's nasty. He's gonna get Khalil in that too. All right, so I got to. I gotta target everybody. As he casts this, you notice that above you on the ceiling, icicles begin to form, and the entire air gets extremely frigid cold as these icicles begin dropping on your head. You guys do get a Constitution saving throw. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a dexterity saving throw. Luckily, this is a different type of spell. He does not get the full 17, so the dexterity saving throw DC 15. He should not be targeting himself, I'm sorry. As much as you guys would love it, he's not targeting himself.
If he did, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kill myself to kill you.
Oh boy, you guys were not so lucky this time as you were last time with your saves. Ice Storm is 2d8 bludgeoning, 4d6 cold. Gregory, you go down, falling unconscious. Everybody else, you're just really badly injured.
So I took half damage. Is that right?
You took half damage, yes. Yeah, because okay. I think you're the only one who succeeded on that save. You're still not in good shape right now. Khalil, he screams out, "It was an honor!" And he fights to the death with his scimitars. Khalil hits with a scimitar. Scimitar is poisoned. Takes half damage on that. Second hit with a scimitar. Another hit. Olaf, it's your turn.
Getting blasted so hard and everything.
And Gregory has fallen.
Yeah, I heard him scream as he fell down.
That Wilhelm scream that's in every movie.
We'll also do, like, well, he's not gonna come closer. Let's see what he does with it. Sickening Raid is on top of them. So I will cast Sickening Radiance. He's gonna come towards us, or he's gonna hit?
So you're casting it to not hit Khalil, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm putting it basically in a little barrier between Khalil and him.
Now, does he take any damage on the moment of casting, or is it on his turn?
On his turn.
Okay.
So that is what I'm going to do, is tap that there. And then I'm going to move further into the corner over here. And then from here I will revive Gregory with some heal spells. Or with my healing light.
Yeah, I don't think you can use a spell, but you can use your ability.
My healing light, yeah. It was in the bonus action. So I have a bunch of those. So, I will do that, and basically end my turn.
Gray, it is your turn, and in your hands lies this legendary weapon, Blackrazor. As you are trying to control the weapon, it appears that time slows down to a complete halt. And you look around and you see your allies struggling from the powerful spells of this horrible ogre mage. Before you, this is his weapon in your hand. And it appears that the weapon is doing something where your perception of time has slowed down to a crawl. And the weapon speaks to you. And he says, "You do not know me, but I know you, Gray. When I met you, it was under different circumstances. It was a different form. a different aspect of myself. He says, do you remember a great storm, a battle between you and your allies and a druid named Balak? And you can answer him. It appears for you the time has slowed down.
I'm kind of fuzzy. I'm kind of hurt. My brain is kind of numb, and I can't really recall what it is you're speaking of.
He says deep beneath an old citadel, you did battle with an adversary that controlled thunder and lightning. Was you and your allies. One of them I see over there by the name of Olaf. You fought valiantly and brutally in this battle. And you triumphed, splitting the tree in half.
Ah, the Sunless Citadel.
Yes. It was an aspect of myself that was the tree. He says, now I see you are in another battle, and you are quite outmatched. I see your death near. He says, but I can turn the tide of this battle if you prove worthy to wield me. Do you wish to wield me?
Yes, I do wish to wield you. I wish to win this battle. I wish to save my allies.
If you wish to win this battle at any cost, you must show me that you are worthy. Allow me into your mind. And you feel some sort of force inside this sword just probing into your soul. Like it's trying to probe into your deepest, most private moments. Do you resist it, or do you just let it go inside of you? This force just feels cold, dark, and horrible.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at the darkest part of a dark, deep valley, and that I don't have much choice. And I see Gregory laying in his own blood and just barely moving around. And I see my other allies are having a hard time against this ogre, so I will allow him to enter into my mind. I will release my any kind of anger or any kind of reluctance.
So the force enters your mind and begins to share your thoughts and memories. At the same time, you start absorbing some of its thoughts and memories, and a life of over 1,000 years just floods your mind. A life of cruelty and evil and murder. A life of a horrible vampire lord enters your mind. But you feel him kind of probing around in your mind. He says, I see a moment long ago. You were but a child then. And he contemplatively starts talking. I see a village being overrun by orcs. I see your family, your loved ones, everyone you cared for die, slain by the orcs. And I see a child powerless, without the skill or the strength to defeat them. A child brooding with anger and consumed with murder. He says, and then I see a life of repression, repressing the lust. He says, you will allow this lust to overtake you. If you are to take my power, you will show me true brutality. Show me hatred Show me revenge. And you can feel this entity probing into the very foundation of who you are, wishing to turn you into a ravenous murderer. If you accept its power, you feel like you will enter into this kind of realm of pure bloodlust that you're not sure you can even control. He says, I will not force myself upon anyone. This has to be voluntary. Do you accept my gift? Do you accept Blackrazor?
I hate... Do you got something else, or you want me to go ahead?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I hate orcs with a passion. They killed my mom and without mercy, and tortured and raped her, and I have sworn to take down the tribe that killed my mother. But now I am in a completely different world or a timeline, or I don't even understand what's going on. So I don't even know if they're still around. But I will tell you one thing. That if I did what you wanted me to do because of vengeance, I would be just like those orcs. So I'm afraid that I cannot accept your help if that is what the conditions are.
You are too weak. And as he says this, the sword just vibrates so hard that you have to drop it, and you are back in initiative. Okay. You take you may fill up your inspiration bar for rejecting the power of Blackrazor.
Okay.
But now take your turn.
Okay.
For better or worse, you drop the sword.
Okay, so...
And it clangs to the ground, now inert.
Okay. So since I kind of have my... Which I've been thinking about this a long time with the bow, I should be able to just put it over my shoulders when I'm ready to draw my scimitar.
Yes.
So, and it's already over my shoulders, so I'm going to go ahead and draw Flame Tongue. Now, does that take my whole turn, or...?
No, you may do that as a part of the move action.
Okay. So, I draw Flame Tongue?
Yeah, the 5th edition rules make it so you can't stow and draw on the same turn. And I think that it causes too many problems where I say it's okay to do that. As long as you're stowing and drawing just one thing. Like, you can't, take out a sword, strike with that sword, put the sword away, take out a second sword, strike. You can't do that. But if you're just stowing it, you're just switching weapons, that's fine.
Right. So, and then I'm going to move in front of the ogre. How do you pronounce his name? Quesnef,
the ogre mage.
And I should already have Hunter's Mark cast on him. Did I lose my concentration?
I'm not sure if you rolled the concentration.
Well, I mean, I had it should automatically did it because I had the Hunter's Mark on my character.
I can scroll back to the massive amount of damage that you guys suffered and see if you rolled a concentration.
I got the damage and its concentration on my character in the battle, so it was on there, so I should have rolled it.
Oh yes, if it's still on your character, then you must have succeeded.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go ahead.
Oh, just put your token over here because you're on top of clear. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see on that. I don't even see Khalil. Oh, okay, now I see.
Yeah, he's buried under the erupting earth that I can't move.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm going to take my scimitar, Flame Tongue, and make my first attack at the ogre.
Oh, hold on. Let me... unfortunately, 10 is going to miss.
Yep. And I'll take my... Do you need to do something before I take my second shot?
No, go ahead. (24) bypasses his armor class as it connects with him. Don't forget to put the... hold on, let me check your character sheet. Make sure that Flame Tongue script is correct. The script is correct. Go ahead and roll damage.
Do I get sneak attack?
You do get sneak attack. You may apply sneak attack on yourself, and I think if your swarm applies, you may do that as well.
Yeah, my swarm should apply. Just gotta find it. I should move it up there with my other stuff. There it is. Okay, now roll damage.
Ooh, 24 points of damage. It's burning him, slicing him. Does that include the swarm as well, I believe?
Well, I had it put on, so...
Yes, it does include the swarm as well. It did not include sneak attack.
Well, I did put it on. I thought I did. I clicked the button anyway. Do you want me to...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It did apply sneak attack. Because I see a 40... 46 I see. So 2d6 is fire, 2d6 is sneak attack. It did apply it.
Okay, so I'm going to take a cunning action bonus and move back. Let's see, I need to count how many spaces this is. There's 10. Yeah. Shoot. My fingers ain't working right today. About to there. And move out of his line of sight again. And I guess that's all I can do. Pass my turn.
Gregory, you're up.
So I use half my move action to get up. And then... see him right there. And, okay, Olaf is over in the corner then. Here, and then... oh wow, that is some... oh. Sickening rage felt nice. Alright. I'll just quickly look at Olaf and be like, do you know how to cook rabbit?
Check his head, Olaf, see if it's bleeding.
Looking like, what? Yeah?
I'll take that as a yes. And I am going to cast Polymorph on Quesnef.
You have to beat his save. So, against Polymorph, he gets to roll a Wisdom save against your DC.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What is your DC?
16.
Oh, you got him!
Nice.
You got him! Congratulations! Oh my goodness, that is some. That is a risky thing to do because he was rolling at a +5.
And I turn him into a rabbit.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna go the way you planned it.
It will buy you guys a lot of breathing room. Hold on. The problem is that he's in a sickening radiance. He might turn right back.
Yeah, that's gonna be the problem.
Well, how does that do that?
Oh, because it's only temporary. If he loses all of his hit points as a rabbit, he'll...
I don't have stats for rabbit. I have stats for a cat, which is close enough.
Yeah, that's close. So what does he go back to? What hit points he had when he turned into a rabbit?
Well, it should be added. What damage he takes should be also added from.
Okay.
Right. That's my understanding.
Yeah. I just figured it'd be fun to do, like polymorph the BBEG.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not the BBEG, but he's a BBEG.
Yep.
There you go. You have changed him into a rabbit.
Into a smaller sized creature.
Anything else on your turn?
end it.
Okay, it's Quesnev's turn. He is a rabbit, but however, he begins his turn in Sickening Radiance. So you have to roll his save and everything.
Yep.
It's funny if he passes the save.
he nags his
crits. He crits the save.
Here's a question: could I have used inspiration to give him disadvantage on the save?
You can't use inspiration on a roll that you don't do.
Okay.
That's hilarious. He crits a save as a rabbit. Oh my goodness.
Does he take half damage as a rabbit?
Yes, he does take half damage.
Okay, so you still have to roll half damage. He only has 2 hit points as a rabbit.
He's gonna change his bag.
Oh my goodness, he immediately changes back.
I just hope I didn't just help him to not get killed by the Sickening Radiance. He just doesn't take a level of exhaustion. Because he crit the save.
That actually saved him from the your polymorph saved him from the damage he should have taken. However, the beginning of his turn, he usually regenerates hit points. He was not able to regenerate hit points because he was a rabbit. So I guess it's a net.
It's a win in the end of the day.
No win, no loss. Quesnev looks at Khalil and says,
Doesn't the damage still carry over to his normal form?
Yes, it does.
It should have.
You should have at least.
Well, I don't know if it did or not.
Let me make sure. Let me make sure it did. It should automatically do so.
Damage, it should be 15.
Yeah, so it should be 13 points of damage. It should have carried over. Let me make sure. Whoops! What am I doing?
He did.
He died because the DM's hands are shaky.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Quesnev actually is now in a bad position because he's in your Sickening Radiance, and it's going to take him a long time to get out. He can't travel much because of the erupting earth has made difficult terrain. He's got Khalil right in front of him. He decides he just wants to kill Khalil. He's going to multi-attack with 2 glaives on Khalil. Khalil is happy to fight this thing for you guys because he's the reason. You're the reason he was alive in the first place. Oh, he misses on his first attack.
A crit miss, not a miss.
Second attack is a hit. He takes Khalil down. However, Khalil's not dead. I will, since he's an adventurer, joined your party, I will allow him death saves like everybody else. After he does this, Quesnev looks at the guardian spell in front of them, and he starts backing off. So Quesnev, he's got. You see Quesnev. He partially becomes gaseous as he starts moving. So he's got. So the 30 feet is going to be difficult terrain. So he's going to only be able to move up to here.
He's still going to be in the Sickening Radiance. So.
Oh yeah, the Sickening Radiance is really big. So he's going to have to walk a long way to get out of there. You can see that Quesnev is starting to back off a little bit. Khalil, I will allow him to roll a death save. Ooh, Khalil's got 1 failure for his death save. Olaf, you're up.
Curious as to what Gregory just did when he mentioned rabbit stew and everything. I'll come back over to the door here to take a look and see that Khalil's on the ground and Quesnev has backed away, and I will just shoot some Eldritch Blast at the creature.
you.
I'm not going to be trying to move them.
Okay, you're not going to be pushing or pulling.
Correct. I can only push. I want to keep them in
the second is a hit.
Yep. Alright. Then I will try to revive my buddy Plume with some healing magic. With my bonus action.
Khalil has 1 hit point.
And then I will back up again. Can I get back here? I should didn't count that. 1. I can only go back that far. Alright. And then that will end my turn. Like, get back in there, Khalil! But don't go close to him. Stay out of the sickening ratings. Come back here.
It is Gray's turn.
Right.
Yeah, he's too far away for me to attack now, I believe.
You can't even see him right now.
No, I mean he is though. He's
well, he's too far for your scimitar. You have to. You'll have to walk into Olaf's sickening radiance.
I know, but I mean I can't switch my weapons and attack at the same time, right?
You can. Remember? Yeah. We decided you can. Both the players and enemies can
Okay.
as part of the rules. Yeah.
Okay,
By the technical rules are you can't, because you can only you have to stow a weapon and you have to take one out.
okay, well I will quickly slip my scimitar into the scabbard and grab my bow. And I still have Hunter's Mark on him. Unfortunately, I won't get sneak attack, but now I'll go ahead and take a shot at that hulking ogre that used to be a rabbit.
But you didn't know
that is a hit on him.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the swarm damage with this shot. And that's all I get extra, I believe.
Oh, why don't you tell me how you finish off this horrible creature?
I look him straight in the eye, and I very angry at the fact that he hurt 2 of my companions to the point of death, and I pull back my bowstring, and I see a sparkling red eye, and I let loose, and the arrow goes right through his eye, right into his skull. It kills him.
And he just drops to the ground, completely lifeless. Well, congratulations. You guys took down an ogre mage legitimately this time.
I don't even know how we did that. But, man, that sickening thing you got going on, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool spell. Sickening Radiance.
Yeah, that spell didn't exist in AD&D. That's why, you know. That's why part of what makes these modules not as deadly is the 5th editions.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we would have made it through this without that spell, honestly. I don't know that we would even made it down here to the bottom.
Although if it weren't for the Sickening Radiance, you would have been a rabbit for a few rounds, or maybe for 1 round.
All right. So you guys take a long breather after that one.
No doubt. They're searching the room, and so we're getting a long rest.
Well, I've been checking with Gray to be how he was. I saw you pick up the blade and then drop it, Gray. What? It looked like you were going to fight with it, but then all of a sudden you dropped that down.
Yeah, I explained to both of you guys, all 3 of you guys, that all of a sudden time stopped for me, and this mysterious, rather sinister sounding voice I could hear in my head, and all your motions were stopped, and everything was stopped, and there was no noise, and all I could hear was this sinister voice in my head, and it said it was the blade, and that I had met him before, and in our battle Sunless Citadel, and that he was the tree, and he told me about some of my past and so on, and he tried to say that I was a hateful and vengeful spirit, and that if I would give in to him and be hateful and vengeful and bloody and horrible, that he would give me the power to beat the ogre, and I refused. And at that point it started vibrating so hard that I was forced to drop it, and that's what happened.
Interesting.
And as you're recounting the tale, the sword begins to kind of shake a little bit on the ground, and then the sword speaks audibly, so you can all hear in common. He says, "You are not worthy to wield me. Will you put me in the hands of one that is, or will you allow me to languish here for another 2,000 years?"
We will take you with us.
Yeah, we'll take you with us, and who knows, maybe we might find somebody who might be a good fit for you.
The sword says, "Will you recover the other two, Wave and Whelm? I do wish to fight with them again."
That's our plan. Can you give us any advice, or do you have any idea where they may be?
I do not know where they are kept in this dungeon. I have been here for 1,000 years, guarded by Kwasnef, languishing in that cushion. And you look over to the cushion and you see that the entire cushion is full of coins. Like coins and items and just loot.
The whole room and.
So you rip open the cushion, and here is your loot stack. A massive amount of gold, 15,000 gold pieces. A whole bunch of platinum pieces and some ancient electrum pieces as well.
Is that Obsidian Greatsword the Blackrazor, or is that another Obsidian Greatsword?
Oh, that's Blackrazor.
Okay. And what's the deal with the patched robe? That's interesting.
That robe appears to be emanating some magic. So is that plate mail.
I'm curious about the patched robe.
Well, I think we should take a rest, and we can identify. Maybe one of you two guys can identify this stuff.
Let's identify the patched robe at least.
Well, let's try to identify anything that's magic.
Same thing.
Oh yeah.
All right, so are you guys kind of committing to what kind of rest are you taking here? Because I also have a second loot stack for you.
I'm gonna say we're gonna check out Kwasnef, see what he has.
Yeah, because you go over to Kwasnef and you realize that he's wearing a second ring of spell storing. He's wearing another ring that you guys recognize as a ring of protection, and his glaive is magical.
Well, I think we'll gather up all the loot, come into this room, and take a long rest, because some of us need to use some hit dice anyway. It looks like.
Do you take that ring of spell storing off his finger?
I would say so.
All right. The moment you remove the ring of spell storing and it changes ownership from him to you, you feel inside your own pack, your own ring of spell storing start getting really warm, just like this one does. Unfortunately, there is some sort of arcane magic binding these ring of spell storing. They were created by one person, and you can never own more than one ring of spell storing at a time. However, when you have two rings of spell storing, one ring's power combines with the second. The ring that he owned shatters in a million pieces, kind of cutting up your hands. Your ring of spell storing becomes more powerful. You get an extra slot.
That's nice.
Okay.
That's nice.
Who currently has the ring, by the way?
Well, nobody's wearing it. That's why I was trying to get somebody to wear it. I mean, I would wear it. The thing that I could take off would be my robe of protection, but I'm kind of the guy that's in front right now, and that's really going to lower my armor class some. So that's what I was worried about. But anyway, I guess we can talk about that after we find out what else we got.
After all this commotion dies down and you kind of gather your senses, Gray, you realize that when you were sitting there communing with Blackrazor and exchanging thoughts, he saw into your mind. He saw your deepest thoughts. But at the same time, it goes this other way. You saw into his mind. You saw his entire life and his undeath and his afterlife. You know his entire history.
Wow. And what did I learn? That was interesting.
Well, first is the identity of the creature that became Blackrazor. He was once a valiant knight, protector of the realms, one the uncorruptible, most powerful knight. Won multiple holy wars against creatures of the abyss. After he had finished his campaign, he and his wife Tatiana created their own barony, where he reigned reigned a just and good kind of empire. Everything was going very well until Tatiana became sick. And he struggled to try to heal Tatiana, but no mortal cure could keep her alive. And because of this, he fell into deep despair. This valiant knight, he doesn't even remember his own name anymore. Descended into hatred, corruption, and madness as he sought occult and demonic forces in order to raise Tatiana's, bring Tatiana out of her sickness. He fell into necromancy and worshipping of demonic gods, but none of these things. Through all his search, he was not able to find anything to reverse her disease. Tatiana, seeing her beloved fall into this hard state, could not bear it. Before she even died of her own disease, she threw herself off the balcony, committing suicide. With her death, this Baron completely went insane. He succumbed 100% to the forces of the abyss. He became cruel and unruly. He began to execute any rivals. He began asking for sacrifices. He was well known for impaling his enemies on display in front of his castle moat, just to show how cruel he was. He developed a hunger for slaughter. He became ravenous and every day more demonic. He was so evil that a shroud of mist began encapsulating his land, and people forgot about him because his entire barony disappeared into a shroud of mist, forming its own dark demi-plane. And it was then that he drank human blood for the first time. And when he did so, he transformed into a vampire lord named Count Strahd von Zarovich.
Oh, yes!
He ruled over his land, his dark demi-plane of Barovia, for hundreds of years. Until finally, distant travelers from another plane had gone in and finally fought him and defeated him. They cut off his head with a magical weapon called the Sun Sword after driving a stake through his heart. Once they did this, the demi-plane of Barovia disappeared and the mist lifted, and they reappeared in a prime material plane. The land was desecrated And every person that once lived in Barovia now snapped out of these delusions, and they rejoined the rest of the world. And the land was mostly forgotten. But deep in the bowels, the area where Strahd was slain, where the stakes still lie in his heart. Over the course of millennia, Strahd's existence and his hatred was so strong that even his death could not completely end his existence. He continued to exist in another form. His essence, even though his soul was destroyed, his essence continued on, and his hatred at what had happened to him, he focused all of his hatred into that stake that slew him, and the stake grew roots and began to grow into a tree. In a citadel below the ground, that the tree grew roots and became a blighted death tree, and it grew a fruit that was unique in anywhere amid the plains. It was a fruit that can bypass any form of resistance, any form of immunity. It's a fruit that causes absolute death, a poison that cannot be countered. And this tree started producing this fruit until one day the wayward druid came and found the tree, and through that druid's mad delusions began worshiping the tree, and created little saplings out of the tree, little twig blights out of the tree, and began blighting the land with the power of the tree. He continued undetected because this was buried deep below the ground where the castle had once stood, and the part where Strahd was slain. Nobody knew. People around the land had already forgotten this. So you guys know what had happened hundreds of years later. After you had gone and slain this druid and destroyed that tree. This is the entity, the dark entity within the tree. Even though the tree was destroyed, the entity could not be destroyed. This much hatred and love for destruction could never be truly dissipated. It continued to float around as an essence until it was bound by a truly evil dark mage from Sigil, a far distant plane, who discovered the power of this essence. He created a spell to gather all the essence together, reconcentrate it, give it consciousness once again, and bind it in one singular object, which is this Blackrazor. So now you know what you're dealing with.
Yep.
Okay. The spirit of Strahd, basically.
Yeah, so because Blackrazor knows your entire history, your innermost thoughts, he cannot get into your head that deeply without you equally getting into that, receiving the full knowledge of his existence. This is not truly Strahd anymore. It's just an essence of hatred and of what he is.
That's pretty cool. Of course, I tell those guys all that because Gregory's the one with the memory, so we might need to remember some of this stuff.
Gregory's just like, interesting. Very interesting.
It was a long story. That definitely put us to sleep.
What kind of rest would you guys... are you guys taking a long rest, short rest?
Well, I think we should take a long rest. Well,
I'd say we try to take as long a rest as we can. If you start to hear other things happening...
Yeah, some of us need to hit dice and get our spell slots back, and... Plus, those guys can take time to identify all the magical stuff that we found.
If we take a long rest, then we get all our hit points back. We don't need to...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you guys are sitting around this luxurious room, and it's very easy just to find a cushion and take a long rest. I mean, even though the room was hit by several magical spells, it appears that there is some sort of spell that's keeping this room tidy. Some sort of persistent spell that just continues to keep this room tidy. and very comfortable. So you guys sit down. You guys sit down, and you begin a long rest.
I gotta look into what spell does she prepare.
While you're doing the long rest, I will have you identify all the items. So,
Yes.
first off, we have Blackrazor. This weapon, even though you've spoken to it, needs to be identified. When you start trying to cast Identify a Blackrazor, at first, you try casting and your spell fizzles. And he says, "Stop that." It appears that Blackrazor is countering your Identify spell. What are you doing?
I just need to know more about you.
Why should I reveal all of my secrets to one so unworthy?
Well, if I know more about you, then maybe I can find somebody who is worthy.
He says, if I am to show you my secrets, then we must at least make a deal. I do not sense that you can be worthy of wielding me. But the other two, I wish to see them again. It has been hundreds of years. Realm and away. If you will go and retrieve them, I will allow you to see my power.
Alright. Well, we plan on getting the other two weapons as well, so...
So he agrees and allows you to cast the Identify spell on him. When you do so, these are the stats. Blackrazor is a +3 weapon. Don't look at the cost. It's the weapon's invaluable, so you can't even sell it. You can't find unless you can find a real buyer. So don't look at the cost of it.
Somebody who's willing to jump 65,000 gold into it.
This is sort of like possessing the Mona Lisa. You can't put a price tag on it because you have to find somebody to even willing to be able to buy it.
Has haste. That's awesome.
It's a +3 weapon that casts haste and devours souls. If you kill anything with a weapon, that thing is unresurrectable. It ceases to exist. And you gain temporary hit points for killing things. Also, while you hold the weapon, you are mind immune. You cannot be charmed or frightened. Now, the Blackrazor is a sentient weapon. You cannot attune to it without its agreement. However, being a sentient weapon, even if you are not proficient in it, if it agrees, it will grant you proficiency. It will guide your hand in swinging it. It will lift itself to help you wield it. If it deems you worthy of wielding it, which it currently doesn't. So you cannot attune to this weapon, unfortunately. So you can't use it.
I feel like this weapon would be like...
This is a +3 is the maximum in 5th edition. This
weapon is like a bloodthirsty murder hobo's dream come true.
Absolutely. You guys, of course, had a previous party member who was really interested in wielding this weapon. But the weapon itself is conscious and has to agree to be wielded by you to attune. And that's the rub on these weapons. So no matter how powerful it is, it's not an object. It's a thing. It's a conscious mind. So unless you are able to wield this evil weapon and willing, and able to attune to it, you can't really do much with it, but keep it. Alright, so that's Blackrazor. You find some magical plate mail. However, at Gregory, once you identify it, you realize that this is a cursed plate mail of vulnerability.
That's not good.
Okay. Yeah. Makes you vulnerable to slashing damage. While wearing this armor, you have resistance to one of the following damage types: bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing.
Oh, don't ignore that part. The curse part is what applies. That's the template of the weapon, the plate mail resistance, but it's actually the opposite. It's a plate mail vulnerability. So this weapon's as an oddity, this magical item is worth some money, but it's nothing you want to try to wear, even if you could wear plate mail.
I think we'll just leave it down here.
You find a potion of greater healing. This is a high-level healing potion. That robe you were interested in, you reveal it as a robe of useful items.
At a game called it.
Yep.
When it was a robe with patches, I'm like, oh, yep, it's a robe of useful items, but I'm like, I want to try to make sure that Gregory would know in-game.
Yes, very useful robe, and the useful thing about it, you don't even have to attune to it.
Oh! Don't have to attune to it?
Nope.
I'll take.
It's a robe that you don't even have to wear to use it. So it's a Swiss Army knife. Hold on, don't take these items yet. I'm going to put them in the inventory and then take it from there. And finally, you have a scroll of protection.
Okay. See if that's something that I can cast.
And I will combine these loot boxes, Ring of Protection here, and Glaive +1 that Quesnef was holding. And now that we have all the items accounted for, I will drop this entire loot box into the party sheet.
500 gold worth of Electrum. 15 is that? Oh my gosh.
Yes, this is how do you guys think you're going to be able to afford the expensive items befitting level 8 and above party without a lot of gold?
That's true.
Right, yeah.
And by the way, so previously the item pricing was not all correct. So I did a tedious job, but I went back and I redid all the item pricing in our in our shops. So starting next module, the items will be correctly priced. If you guys were lucky enough to get items at massive discounts, such as Wand of Magic Missile, which should not be the price that it was, then you can keep it. It's my fault. There were some items that just you should not be getting them for so cheap. They're supposed to be a lot more expensive. So I repriced all the items. And I followed the same item pricing guide.
What about the gold mask? Is that anything, or is it just a gold mask?
It is decorative mask, not not magical.
Just to sell kind of deal. Okay.
All right. Here's a question with regards to encumbrance and regards to the amount of gold. Is it we're taking that into account with that encumbrance, or
I don't know how to take that into account. So for the time being, you have a bag of holding. So let's just not worry about it.
Yeah, you have a bag of holding, and if that gets too stuffed, I have interest loading disc, which can hold 500 pounds of stuff as well.
Yeah, the problem is that in order to do that, I have to do micro calculations into the weight of the gold. Just too much. So if you have a bag of holding, then let's just say you can throw all your gold in there.
So I'm only asking because I know that at least Fancy Grounds, what it looks like is when you add gold to your inventory,
yes,
it increases your encumbrance, your current encumbrance. I noticed that. So if I added 1,000 to what I currently have of like 569, which is 1569.
Oh yeah, then that's
It
gonna
automatically puts it in there.
Oh, the problem is that I can't automatically put things into your inventory without putting all the gold in there as well. So, if you guys want something in your inventory, you go to the party sheet and drag it into your inventory. So I won't automatically move them into your inventory anymore.
But what I'm saying is, like,
we haven't been using encumbrance really, so I mean,
we have sort of.
So what I'm saying is that amount of gold if we put it into our into our sheets, I can guarantee you it's gonna throw off the encumbrance, even if I.
Well, can't we use the? I always thought we just should use the party sheet as the bag of holding.
What you can do is you can take your coins and drag them into the party sheet to put the gold in your inventory back into the party sheet. The problem is when I distribute items from the party sheet, it automatically distributes the gold. There's no way for me to give items without giving gold, unless I manually click on the item and drag it into your inventory. But you guys can do the same thing then. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to go to the party sheet inventory. If there's items that you need to have in your inventory, just drag them into your inventory, and then we will resolve all your items at the end of the module.
And like, I mean, I'm just trying to.
No, I get it. I get.
The way we are.
Isn't there some sort of setting that you can make the gold not weigh into your inventory?
I have no idea.
I thought there was a setting to ignore the gold. Oh, maybe there's a setting on my end somewhere. I don't know. I have 1,000 different things pop up when I look at settings. I have way too many things. I'll look into it. Maybe there's a setting I can change. Because the reason I'm not doing it is because I don't want to go and calculate the weight that the gold is going to be.
Under currencies, you can put a weight in for the currency, so I suppose you could just change all them to 0.
Yeah, you can do that. You can change the weight under the currency to 0.
We can. I'm not sure we can. I think you would have to do that, actually.
Can I do that?
Well, I mean, it's in there.
Yeah, if you go to options, currencies, which is a selectable thing at the bottom, above message of the day.
Let me see.
There's also in the options, under house rules, there's PC encumbrance. I don't know if it's standard currently. I don't know if that changes. You are able to select anything different.
Oh, there we go. Use currency weight. I turned it off. There we go. Problem solved. I fixed on my end.
There we go. Okay.
Fun.
All right. Now I can now I can distribute stuff.
There you go.
Does anybody want any of that stuff in their inventory?
I'm going to ask, who is one of you going to wear the robe of patches?
I was going to say, I'll take it.
Can you wear the robe of patches and the robe of eyes at the same time?
That's a good question.
Yes, you can, because the robe of useful items does not require... you can't wear them, but you can use them, because the robe of useful items doesn't require attunement.
I see you're breaking up, so it must be that time.
Am I still breaking up?
No, now you're not.
Okay.
But you did on that last sentence when you was talking about the robe of magic items.
The robe of useful items does not require attunement. It just works. So there's no reason why you can't just reach into it and use it however you want.
Okay.
So there's no reason to even put it on. Obviously, you can't wear two robes at the same time unless you're like a schizo or something. You wouldn't be doing that, but you can just carry it with you. Put it with you like in your bag, and then just reach into it and use it.
I feel like we need to leave the plate of armor here.
Oh yeah.
In that couch or something, because I don't see why we would take a chance of cursing somebody else.
Okay, you
it's not worth that much money. That's my preference.
Okay, you just leave that armor here.
Mm-hmm. And the ring of protection, I already have a robe of protection, which does exactly the same thing. I'm pretty sure they don't stack. So
it does stack. 5th edition stacks. Pathfinder, unfortunately, is a headache because there are different types of bonuses. There's enchantment bonus, circumstance bonus, morale bonus, and the different types of bonuses don't stack, but the same type of bonus doesn't stack. But 5th edition doesn't care. So you can wear a ring of protection. Hell, you can wear 2 rings of protection.
Huh.
Yeah, you can. The 5th edition just limits you by attunement, so you get 3 attunement slots.
Right. So.
Oh, there's another thing about these sentient weapons. Gregory, you just know this just by lore. Is sentient weapons can hold concentration on their own spells.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you cast haste through Blackrazor, you still have concentration on your own spells. Sentient weapons actually have stats too, so they can cast. They don't have.
Oh, so you can cast a concentration spell using a sentient weapon without worrying about losing your concentration.
Exactly.
Is that the same way with the rings?
Not the rings. No, the rings aren't sentient.
Well, I mean, you lose your concentration with the rings of spell holding then?
No. Yes. You cast it as if you cast it normally with the spell.
Oh, okay.
The spells.
Okay.
No, they would be way too powerful. 2 concentration is a game-breaking thing in the game. Having multiple concentrations, because that's something that's just not part of the game at all. The part of the mechanics of the game is assuming that you can only concentrate on one spell at a time. So giving you 2 concentrations is not something that you should just liberally give to anybody. But these legendary sentient weapons should not be following all the rules. Just like don't give people multiple opportunity attacks or something. Like if you make a magic item in 5th edition, just don't do that. It just breaks the game. Just too many attacks. So who has the Ring of Spell Storing, I'll just update it so you know now you have an extra slot. You now you have 6 slots in it.
I think it's in the. I don't know who has it. I know I don't have it. Somebody needs to wear it. Put some spells in it. I'll explain why I don't really want to wear it, but I mean, if it comes down to it, I'd rather have someone wearing it.
It's more useful for somebody who normally doesn't cast spells naturally.
I know it is, but I kind of need the. It takes attunement. That's the thing.
I haven't been using those gloves of missile snaring, so.
The ring of snaring is not in anyone's inventory, right?
If it's not, then I will put it in somebody's inventory. I just what I need to do is I'm going to get an updated version where it has 6 slots.
Okay.
By the way, all the spells that were previously in it are no longer there. You have to reload it.
There was what, going to be six slots now? Did you say?
Yeah, previously had 5 slots. So 6 slots makes it a lot more flexible.
I think we should put some area of effect.
And now it's going to be called a Greater Ring of Spell Storing. And its price goes up astronomically. There we go. It's worth 30,000 gold now. Whose inventory do you want me to put it in?
And Gregory's.
Okay, I'll put it in Gregory's. There you go. Oh, by the way, you guys know you can filter your inventory with that drop-down menu on the bottom left, right?
No.
Oh, if you open your inventory and you look at the bottom left, you can filter it. It helps out when your inventory gets really big.
Oh yeah,
that's a Mad Nomad extension.
That's great. What do I have that requires attunement? Bracers of defense, gloves of missile snaring, greater ring of spell storing, iron stone of protection, ring of fire resistance, robe of eye. What do the bracers of defense do?
I mean, if I go down in battle one more time, I have an attunement slot open up pretty quickly. Because
I'm gonna drop my attunement on my gloves of missile snaring and attune to my bracers of defense. Because that'll bring my AC up by 2.
If you do that, it's better. It's easier if you just put an effect on AC2. Let me see. Do you have?
No, that's stacked with mage armor.
That's a good question.
Everything stacks.
Okay, I didn't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Everything stacks. Everything stacks. Unless it specifies in the description that it doesn't stack. So I know it's always a question in other versions of D&D, things that stack and don't, because things with an enchantment bonus don't stack with other things, and most of the items that are +1, +2 are enchantment bonuses. So those things don't stack in previous versions of D&D. So you can't wear like armor +2 and then the ring of protection +1 and all that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't all add together. But 5th edition, because of the flattened math, everything stacks, and that makes it much easier.
All right, well, before we jump,
because that was one of the biggest headaches and mistakes we made when we were playing 3rd edition. Is players would show up with an armor class of 55. And I'm like, wait a second, what do you? What is this? And then you break down their character sheet, and you're like, oh, come on, you have this and you have this, you have like these 6 feats that give you the same bonus, because some feats give you like bonuses, but they don't stack with other feats. So they built their characters wrong. They took feats that don't stack, so they just wasted feats.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so the way I'm looking at the description for mage armor right now, each other rolling creature who isn't wearing armor. Its effective magical force surrounds it until the spell ends. The target's base AC becomes 13 plus its dexterity modifier. The spell ends if the target dons armor, or if you dismiss the spell as an action.
Bracers would be considered. Are they considered armor?
That's a good question.
No. Armor is cover the body armor.
Okay.
Yeah, bracers, whatever, pauldrons, gloves, boots, they're not armor.
Ooh. So I'll have that with like the Immune Stone of Protection would make it like I'd have like an armor class of 18.
That's not bad for a wizard.
That's if I throw mage armor on it. If I don't throw mage armor on it, I'll have an armor class.
So you guys take a well-deserved long rest, completely undisturbed. You guys pack up, get your spells ready, re-prepare your spells, have some food, and you guys clamber out of that terraced aquarium. Now you're back in the hallway that you came in.
Well, guys, it seems like we're gonna move on to a canoe ride, possibly. Is that what we're thinking?
I guess so.
Olaf will talk to Cleo and tell Cleo, we didn't raise you up so you can die so quickly. Stop saying you're ready to crick off. Alright? You're here to fight with the rest of us.
Khalil looks at you, he says, of course I don't want to die, but when faced with difficult odds, I do want to at least wish that I have shown you the respect that I have for you. Of course I wish that we will all make it out of this alive.
And we're gonna do that. And I guess let's move on, guys. Make our way to the canoe.
The canoes were directly north at the end of the hallway.
Gray, lead away. Make sure nothing new has appeared. It was at the end of the hallway, I believe.
The hallway is just as you've left it. As you're walking down the hallway, you hear a booming voice kind of echoing, and you see some steam coming out of small miniature vents in the walls. And a voice that sounds kind of familiar to you because you guys remember this voice from before. It is actually the voice of that genie that you guys met when you were forced to fight John Ashford. And the voice says, "So, you have overpowered Quesnef, the guardian of Blackrazor. I wonder, will you be worthy to be the new guardian? Ah, but that remains to be seen." Voice says this cryptic message and then dies away. You guys realize you're being watched.
They got security cameras, apparently.
Olaf gives him just blows a raspberry in all directions.
I fart in your general direction.
Raspberries and Monty Python references.
Considering we're probably going to be doing another one.
So, to remind you of this area that you came into earlier, there is a hole on two sides, one on the direct north side of the wall, and one on the west side of the wall. Water suspended in air through magical means is flowing in a stream. The stream is semicircular, with the circular end at the bottom and flat on the top. Stream is moving quite rapidly, and you can actually see a couple of blind cavefish inside the stream. It is moving in the direction of the arrow, from the west wall into the north wall.
How far? Basically it's like a semicircle shaped.
Yes, so it's flat on the top.
Mm-hmm. And how far off the floor is the bottom of the river?
It says right here. The water itself is about 3 feet deep, and it is 2 feet off the floor.
And I would like to go over to the
So the top of the water is high, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
And the water is flowing towards the north.
Yes, in the direction of the arrow I pointed out.
Well, I would like to go over and crawl underneath the water and look and see if I can see anything through that through the entryway where the water is going out, or exit, I guess.
It is. You look and it kind of just drifts off into darkness. It begins twisting and turning, so you don't see anything outstanding. It goes into the cave wall itself.
Well, could Olaf, your familiar, fly underneath the water for a ways and see what it does?
There's no room underneath, but it can fly above the water.
Okay, above?
Yes.
I was thinking, yeah. I wouldn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well,
now that we have him, we can at least maybe have him scouted out for us.
Yeah, I'll try to send him down a little bit, see what it's like 100 feet or so. As I get into a warlock.
Okay.
My eyes glaze over, and I.
Okay. Can you bring out his character sheet? That'll be easier.
Alright.
So we can have a token for him and everything.
Yep, I'll do that.
There you go. And I will put him right here. Whoops, he's dead. Let me revive him.
That's something you don't want to hear.
he only has like 1 hit point.
Yeah, he got chewed up by one of the zombies earlier. But he comes back all fresh and ready to go, flapping around excitedly. So, so you may control his token. He flies into this. He flies into this cave system. And you can see the cave system kind of twists and turns. You may continue down.
Do you see any...
If you click on him, you can get team sight. I don't know if we're supposed to be doing that or not. But...
No, go ahead.
Okay.
No, you should have team sight. I don't, because the problem is if you limit your sight to only, I actually activate team sight. If you limit your sight to only your own token, it becomes very kind of weird, and it's very difficult to play the game. So you should have team sight, because you, the player, should be able to see while I'm narrating, even if your character can't see.
No, I'm just trying to make sure, like, my range is only 100 feet. I don't want him to get out of range.
Oh, so this is as far as he gets. The stream continues down, and it becomes rapids, and it kind of makes a twist and a turn.
Okay. Well, he flies back, and I tell the group that, well, at least the first 100 feet is good.
Well, he didn't go 100 feet.
Oh, okay.
He only went about 50 feet.
This is where, as far as he can go.
Yeah.
Right.
So you realize that it kind of twists around back towards the west.
Okay.
That's as far as he can see.
I'll have him fly back and go the opposite direction of the... I'm just curious what it looks like upstream. Why can't I move him? There we go. Move back. I'm having him fly upstream. 100 feet or so.
Oh, when he flies this way, it opens up to a room with a whole bunch of people in it. So, what you see is you see a whole bunch of very, very heavily armored figures inside this room. There is some sort of leader-looking character over there. And the room itself seems relatively bare, except that all these armored kind of characters are kind of looking around. They look like they're ready to engage in combat. There's two characters over all the way on the north end with nets, and they're sitting there ready. Roll a stealth for Pepper.
Huh. Good call. Just send him that way.
I'm gonna roll it against the knight's perception. Okay.
Your message happened when that happened.
Pepper is able to get up to that point undetected, but if you think that if he flies deeper into the room, they're gonna notice him. But he sees that they're setting up some sort of ambush. The water is flowing, of course, this way. So they have nets over there, ready to kind of set up an ambush.
Okay. Pepper will fly back, come land on my shoulder, and I'll report to the team. While I didn't have Pepper go all the way around to the right guy, I have a thinking suspicion that this water is kind of circular, and over to our left looks like there's a bunch of guys ready to attack us. Or attack anything that's in the water. So, I think we need to come up with a plan. And I start describing the layout to the group and where they are. So. almost feel like maybe going upstream is going to be better than having to go downstream.
How are you intending on going upstream?
How is the current like too?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so the stream is okay. It's to the left. Is the bottom of the stream like to the bottom of ground, or is it above ground?
They're at the same level.
So the bottom of the stream is what we said.
It's 2 feet off the ground. Yeah.
If we go in the current, is it pushing us gonna push us downstream, or can we fight against the current?
You don't think you can fight against the current's too fast.
Could we crawl under the stream?
You can't. You can't access the cave underneath the stream because it's full of water.
Okay.
It's only above the stream that there's any air in the cave.
Okay.
What if we had water breathing?
If you had water breathing, if you jumped in the stream, you feel like the stream will probably carry you.
Because it's that swift, so we probably wouldn't be able to fight against the stream then either.
Okay.
Oops.
How much dust of disappearance do we have, guys?
I think I got 2 more. I think I got 2 more.
Khalil step ups and says, "I have one."
He has one.
It's part of the loadout of these Shaitani.
I wonder if we use the dust, and use the canoes to go around, would they be surprised when nothing comes through? So they don't try to snag us with a net right away.
Well, did we send a kayak through? Did we put a kayak on the water?
Yes,
and try to
you did send one through earlier, and you see that other kayak on the other side. They have taken it down.
So they got the kayak probably with the net and pulled it out of there then.
Yeah.
So they probably know there's somebody on this side then.
Yeah, pretty much. That might have been what caused them to set up this ambush in the first place.
Yep.
I'll say, too bad we don't have like invisibility or something. Like if we were to go into a kayak, make it invisible with us in it, so that they can't see it, as long as they don't have true sight or something, or see invisibility.
I was gonna say to
How many of them are there?
There are 9 of them. One commander and 8 of his. These are heavily armored characters, like plate mail wearing.
okay. Here is a thought, Gregory. What are your opinions on this? I have a roll of darkness. If we take the canoes and get around the corner and we see the opening where they are, because they're right near the opening, and we cast darkness right there, they won't be able to attack us.
They won't be able to attack us, but they'll know that we're up. That seeing the darkness, that they'll know that somebody's coming and they're up to something.
But like they won't know when to throw the net to catch us. They might throw it too soon.
Or they'll just throw their nets at the darkness, which would give them disadvantage at catching us, but they would at least know that.
When Pepper was over there, did it look like they're just gonna like pull the net out through the water and block our way? Is that the way it was gonna work?
You think they're setting up an ambush where they're going to catch you in the net and drag you out of the water?
Okay. No, I mean like it's gonna be like they pull up a wall of net and then we're just gonna trap their net, or is it like they have to cast the net onto it?
Oh, they don't have the net up. The water's moving too quickly for them to hold the net there. So it looks like they're going to try to cast the net and grab you, like catching fish.
Okay. All right.
The only thing that's variable here is the whole idea of the darkness spell, like how smart would they be about that in this case?
Yeah, you don't recognize them when you saw them through the eyes of Pepper. You have no idea who these people are or what they're doing here. But clearly they're up to no good if they're looking to ambush somebody.
Unless they know that we're here and that they know, maybe they were told by the voice of the genie or whoever that we defeated what's his face, the ogre mage Quesnef. Know that we defeated him and have Blackrazor.
I don't think the genie is hoping anyone in here. He's more intrigued on how we're gonna do on our own. I don't think he's gonna be trying to hinder our way.
Yeah, you get the sense that he's judging and assessing you for something. You don't know if this is good or bad. Obviously, he hasn't directly come in and attacked you or anything. When you spoke to him previously, he did tell you that you will eventually fight him. But he told you that he is lawful, and he will fight you under fair circumstances. So you got the impression from what he said that he doesn't want to trick you and ambush you, even though these guys clearly do.
And maybe that genie is Caraptus in disguise, but I don't know how far-fetched that would be.
If it is Caraptus in disguise, his ultimate plans are probably horrible.
Ultimate plans are what?
Probably something really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think you want to do?
Well, Olaf's idea seemed kind of neat, but they would still see the darkness. They wouldn't be able to see in the darkness, obviously, but they would just see.
Yes, a darkness spell certainly would, blind most normal people unless they have some truly special senses, or these guys are not humans. There's some other creatures in the skies that can see through darkness, but in general, a darkness spell would just make them blind. You don't know how they're going to act if they're blind.
I think another idea is, say, I go first with a canoe or whatever, and I cast darkness on myself. And once I come out of that tunnel, they're just going to be in darkness and be like, what the heck's going on? I'll end up probably still floating by them. They'll kind of chase after the darkness because the darkness sticks with me. In which you guys come in from behind.
It'd be a distraction.
It'd be a distraction.
Just a reminder, 2 people can fit on one canoe.
On one canoe?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if you cast?
The only problem is I can see in the darkness. Yeah. The darkness is not going to affect me, but you guys will not be able to.
Yeah. So what if I ride with you? You cast the darkness, and you guide me to cast one of the fireballs out of the ring to get that group of 8 that was standing right at the entrance, and then we try to jump out of the canoe when we get in there, and then the darkness. How big is the darkness?
Darkness spell is.
I think it's a 20-foot diameter.
I think it's 20-foot diameter. Yeah.
I think we just run straight ahead and run towards where the commander is, and then the other 2 can follow us and try to jump out of because the net should be taken care of. They're not. They're going to be looking at us. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Oh, casting it. So, okay. Group A is the group all the way to the left. Group B is the one that's going to be right at the exit that we're coming in. Okay, so I think casting the fireball on Group A is going to be better because the Group B will be attracted to going to where A is, giving the guys time to come out of the tunnel. You know what I mean? If you cast it on the ones behind us, I don't know if you'll accidentally get
I was thinking about casting it as we're going in, but I guess that would work. But then the darkness is going to be away from the entrance where Gregory is going to be coming in, and the guys that are standing there are going to be able to see him. If it's only 20 feet in diameter, I don't think it's going to fill up that much, is it?
Well, I would think the guys at the entrance are going to be interested in the darkness that just appeared around them and kind of follow the darkness and not really pay much attention to anyone else coming in through.
And then you direct me to cast the fireball at the group down at the south then?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That's okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And then we jump off right around in there.
Midway and...
try to stay in the darkness and try to fight that way?
Yep. I might push you out of the darkness or help you, guide you, I guess.
Well, I would stay close to you and then, of course, take your... Because I would have 2 fireballs, so I could cast it, and you would be able to tell me where to cast it. The second one.
Sounds like a plan. Think it's a good plan, Gregory?
I guess so.
Alright.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna do now?
Alright.
Okay, we're gonna... Okay, go ahead, Devlaw.
Me and Gray are gonna get into a canoe and float down the rapids.
You realize it won't be easy to get into the canoe while the stream is rapidly flowing. You need somebody to hold the canoe.
Is it just a regular flowing stream or is it rapid?
It's rapid. It's going real fast.
Well, we could actually, we should have an endless supply of rope. We could actually tie a rope on one end of the canoe and tie it off to something in the room.
Great idea. Great idea.
Yeah.
So you guys still have 5 canoes here. One of the canoes has been taken by those guys. Mm-hmm. So you go ahead and you bring out one of the canoes, you tie a rope to the end of it, you take the canoe and put it on these rapids, and now the canoe is fixed in place with a rope tied to it. Being flipped over and well, you have to hold it steady, otherwise it gets flipped over and over and over again in the rapids.
And I would say...
So Khalil comes over and holds that boat steady for you to get on.
Well, I would say we tie up another boat so these guys can get ready, and so we put 2 boats in the water.
All right, how far apart?
I think we should put one of them as far to the west as we can, Because that way they can use a handhold, like on the wall right there where the river goes into the wall, to help steady the boat while the two of them are getting in, and they can get in there, and then we can cut the rope, and then they can cut their rope, and then we'll have a head start on them.
So you guys will be 50 feet apart.
Okay.
Okay. So it's Olaf and Gray in the first boat. Correct.
Yes, and I have my ring ready for as soon as Olaf. If we get out, we get out to cast it at the.
I'm just gonna hang on my shoulder. But before we do this, do we want water breathing for 24 hours in case we flip over in the canoe?
Yeah, I mean.
A bad idea.
All right. Well, before we take off,
that could be a means of escape. We could jump into the water if we had water breathing.
So I'll take 10 minutes, give us all water breathing before we get going.
All right, so this is how we're going to play this. You guys get in the boats, and when you cut the ropes, you guys are both going to start moving at equal speed. So you're always going to be 50 feet behind the second boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin combat round when you get... when do you want to begin combat round? When you get to the room over there? Or before that?
I would say... Well, I'm going to...
I'd say wait, because that way, and when we get over there, I guess is when we start combat, when I will cast that spell just as soon as well.
So put your token on where you want to start the combat round, when you want to start taking actions.
So Olaf is going to, I would say, the moment he sees the light of this room, he's going to cast darkness on himself.
Okay, hold on. So let me go 50 feet behind that. It's going to be around here. That's where the other two are going to be at that point. So this is how it works. The first, you guys are going to get into initiative first.
What's that?
You're going to get into initiative.
Oh, okay.
So everybody roll initiative.
I am having a hard time. There we go. I tell you, I'm gonna change colors again. Gregory got a good roll that time.
Yeah, I got a natural.
With Gregory's robot eyes, can he see magical darkness? Or no? He can just see anything.
I don't think I have dark vision of 120 feet. I don't know if I can see through magical darkness or not. I have ethereal vision of 120 feet, and I can see invisibility.
So, on round 1, I'm going to allow you to take your round, your combat round. On round 2, on initiative 20, every time we hit initiative 20, you guys are going to start. The boat is going to move forward at 90 feet. That's how fast you guys are moving here.
Okay.
You guys cannot, obviously, if you guys try to take move actions, you're going to fall out of your boats.
Mm-hmm.
So, not much move action. So, you move automatically on initiative 20, both of you at the same time. All right. Are we ready?
I guess.
This is a little tricky to run just because of the nature of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the combat round begins. Gregory, you go first. You can just see one of the knights standing there with a net. He's kind of looking in there, and you think he sees you too. And he says, "Men, ready the nets!"
All right, where is the guy with the net? Let me.
I'm sorry, you can't. The other two can. The other two look over towards you and Khalil. Kind of indicating that combat's about to begin. Do you want to do anything on combat round 1?
Yeah.
Ready.
I am going to ready a fireball.
What's the condition?
Once I get to where I can see them, I'll cast it. And if the river's moving rapidly, then it should be pretty fast.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see them definitely by the end of the round. I mean by next. Actually, the next round will actually go off before you see them, but you can keep that ready to action through the next round.
Pretty soon, they're not gonna be able to see anything.
Well, if our plan works, the darkness should be past him by the time Gregory sees him.
Yeah. All right, Pepper's following you, I assume. Khalil readies his crossbow for when he first sees an enemy. Gray, you can actually see them because you see the first one now. Knight number 1. He's got a net ready to snatch you, and he screams out to his compatriots, "They're coming down now! Nets ready! Swords ready!" You hear somebody screaming from the back, giving orders.
Okay. Well, they see us, so I might as well take a shot at one of them.
The only one in your line of sight is Knight number 1.
Knight number 1. Okay, I'll take a
Hold
shot
on,
at him.
let me put him in the combat tracker. There you go.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna be able to act this turn yet.
Okay, so I'm going to put Hunter's Mark
Oh my
on here.
goodness, these old AD&D modules, they don't even have any ranged weapons.
They don't have... Oh, good.
You would know that. You don't see any ranged weapons. These old D&D modules, man. Okay.
So, here's my first shot.
You strike that knight through his plate mail.
Okay, I'm going to put the swarm on him. The swarm damage, I should say.
I'm getting curious how these guys are able to see dark before I cast them.
Okay, now might as well take a second shot. You don't got a surprise. Oh, well, that wasn't very
14
good.
bounces off his visor.
Very Ricky boat.
Okay, so I guess that's all I can do, and I'll end my turn. Hey, can I? No, I already took a bonus action anyway, so okay.
Okay, so it's Olaf's turn.
Olaf is going to use the scroll of darkness. He casts darkness right on top of himself.
Okay, and you hear the knight scream out, "They're using magic to hide themselves! Throw the nets anyway!" Well, that leader screams out.
And bonus action on my... Yeah. And that'll be the end of Olaf.
Okay. So we go back up to, this is still initiative 22. Gregory, you have a readied fireball action. Do you want to hold that, continue holding that action? Before you see that Olaf casts darkness, so you can't see anything beyond where they are.
I will hold my ready dash.
Alright, so on initiative 20, everything moves 90 feet. Hold on. Ugh, my pointer's not working.
Like if the darkness fell out of the way, that needs to help. You know, I can't move it out of the way.
So, the minute you guys hit here, they have a readied action. So even though you're in darkness, they're going to attempt to cast their nets. Hold on a second. I have to pull this up. They should have... So, they used to have a net script, and the script disappeared. So this is going to be their attack with the net, and there's 2 of them with nets, so they're going to throw it twice. Because this is utter darkness, they can't see you, so they can't aim properly. They have disadvantage on this throw.
That makes sense.
Net is a dex-based attack. I'm going to... Gray, you have the highest armor class. I'm going to throw it against your armor class.
Okay.
And they also should get a proficiency to this. So it is.
The dex base should throw against my dexterity.
No. This is sort of like an attack against your armor class.
Okay.
It works like that with the net.
Okay.
It's a ranged thrown weapon.
Okay.
So they should have a proficiency. So their attack bonus is not very high. Hold on. Their attack bonus should be +3. So I'm gonna throw D20 +3
okay.
at disadvantage. That does not touch your armor class, I'm assuming.
No.
That's the first net, misses. Here's the second net. Does that touch your armor class?
No.
Yeah, that disadvantage really, really helped you. You guys flow over there and do not get captured. The nets miss you because you're in utter darkness. They cannot target you at this point. So, Gregory and Khalil move up. Gregory, so you're over here at this point. You have a prepared action of Fireball. Unfortunately, you can't see Jack. You cannot see anything beyond this thing of darkness. Are you going to try to cast it anyway?
No, I'll hold off on it.
Khalil has his crossbow ready. And you hear some screaming and shouting. They're like, "It's a darkness spell, I can't see anything." And then you hear somebody who sounds like he's the commander. "Doesn't matter. Swing at the stream as they come by." So only you see this, Olaf. The knights line up. Hold on. It's not even that knight's turn. So knight number 1 did his attack. Knight number the nourished crumb eater through the net. The spindly knight lines up over here, ready to put you guys through a gauntlet of attacks. Sir Bluto yells out combat orders to the knight, giving the knight an additional D4 on his attack bonus. And knight number 5 also lines up over here. Gray, unfortunately, you can't see anything. Would you like to do anything?
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. You are in a sphere of darkness, and you can't see anything.
Oh, can Olaf direct me to where to cast a fireball? Which is what our plan was to begin with.
That's right, it was. So, because of the difficult nature of what you're doing over here, Olaf, you're going to kind of try to guide Gray's hand while he's casting a fireball and all of that stuff. This is going to involve a little bit of skill check. Olaf, in order to guide Gray's casting a fireball, this, I think, would take intelligence.
Intelligence?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's more insight. It would be wisdom.
Okay.
So, what the check I need for you to properly guide Gray's fireball. And Gray, you're gonna cast a fireball no matter where he guides you, right?
You kind of broke up a little bit.
Are you gonna cast a fireball no matter where he guides you?
Yes.
You trust him, okay. So, there's two possibilities of casting this fireball. Either you cast a fireball where you want, or you cast a fireball and it's going to hit you also. So, Olaf, I need you to roll an insight check, DC 12.
Can he give himself guidance where he does it?
Too late. Too late. You'd have to, yeah, you can't do it in the middle of combat. You would have had to do it beforehand. So, because you failed that check, I choose where the fireball goes.
Very bumpy rapid.
I will place your fireball token for you. Oh, you know what? Why don't I go into Gregory's
yeah, he's the one that's got the
because he's the one
fireball.
casting the fireball, and I'll actually cast it for him as well. Oh, you have a lot of spells, Gregory.
Yes, a lot.
You have a lot of spells. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Fireball.
Is there any way I can use one of my inspirations to help me with this, even though Gregory...
No, but no, you can't, because like I said, you are trusting
Okay.
Olaf. Olaf could have used his inspiration on the intake check. Okay, so Gregory, I am placing your targets, and I am casting on your behalf the save for everybody.
Before you do that, it's too late.
Oh, luckily, one of you made it. Unluckily, Olaf, you have failed that save.
Okay.
Ready? An explosion rocks the cavern.
That didn't go as planned, guys.
Gray, your concentration falls on your hunter's mark. Olaf, I need you to roll concentration on darkness.
Yeah. Concentrate.
Poor Pepper disappeared in the poof again.
Oh boy. Yeah. Advantage on.
Pepper is gonna write a complaint to the Ministry of Familiars.
Oh, we did.
I don't know what. Sorry about that.
You rolled for Pepper.
Yep. Grabbed it from the wrong box.
You maintain your darkness concentration.
Well, that's good.
That's at least some good news.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the leader scream out, "Ah, they're crazy! They're casting spells against themselves!"
You're right. You better run.
Roll an intimidation.
We'll have no mercy.
Roll an intimidation.
Okay.
Because you're not serious, you have to roll a disadvantage. If you said that in a serious tone, I would have let you roll it.
Well, I'm not much on charisma anyway, so... Whoops. 7.
No, they're not intimidated. Okay, night number 3. Prepared action to swing at you at disadvantage as you roll down. Night number 4. Also prepared action to swing at you as you roll down. Olaf, it's your turn. Luckily, you can see.
Yes, I can see.
You can throw down a sickening radiance in the whole room, but I think you'd be hurting yourself and your allies as
We're
well.
gonna be in that thickening radiance in like 2 seconds. What I will do is I will cast a shatter spell.
Okay.
And let's see. Ooh.
big is it supposed to be?
No, I mean, it probably is about that big. The two that are closest to us, I'm going to cast Shatter on them. See, can I target them?
Yeah, these squares are little. What's it?
And two.
We got 1 failure and 1 success on their saves.
Alright.
Ooh, he's dead.
Alright, I'll do that, and then...
His armor splits in half. The shatter spell racks his brain.
Now, that was my action. Can I... When we get to, where, like... I want to say we get to about our...
At the end of your next in your next turn, you're going to be like actually out of this room entirely.
Whoops.
You're going that fast.
Well, what I want to say is where I just dropped my arrow. We see that. Can I roll Gray and I out of the boat as part of my movement?
Oh sure. No, if you choose to leave the boat, you absolutely can. But you have to watch out because the waters are very rickety. So you're gonna have to do a skill check to leave the boat without splashing around in the water. You may use either athletics or mobility.
We both need to, or
if he rocks the boat, you both need to.
Okay.
I figured I was gonna go for in total darkness and Gray can't see. Then I was just gonna man hug him and kind of roll us out of the.
If you do that, you guys are gonna end up in the water. You'll be end up in the stream itself and be carried by the stream. If you gotta either like kind of carefully jump out of the boat or leap out of the boat in order to land in the room. If you just roll out of the boat, you'll end up swimming.
If we lock arms and then both jump, then we have a better chance of staying together, which is what Olaf is going for anyway. But we both would still have to make a throw.
Yes, you have to make a throw to not end up in the water.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to do that. We're gonna try to get out of the boat. Get it.
Okay, you guys can choose either strength-based athletics or dex-based acrobatics. I keep calling it mobility. Acrobatics, yes. You both have to succeed since your arms are locked together. If one of you fails, you both get dragged in.
Athletics.
The DC is not hard. It's a DC 10.
Well, I'll still use an advantage, inspiration, just to.
Yep.
Even though I'm pretty good on acrobatics, but still.
I'm gonna do acrobatics offset.
Okay. No problem.
And I would say when boat gets to about here,
but I think I got it anyway.
There's always a lag whenever you roll. I don't know why.
It was really lagging.
Both of you make it out. You guys can kind of place your tokens where you want to end up.
I'll follow you, Olaf, because I want to stay in your darkness for right now.
Yep. So we'll be here and here. Darkness is on top of us.
So the darkness you cast on your person, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I guess that I'm on myself, yes. So darkness is gonna be with me the entire time. And then I would kind of give Gray a nudge to move him. I mean, he's probably out of movement.
So Gregory, I got some good news. I got some good news for you, Gregory. So that is initiative 20 when the thing moved down. So as they jumped out of the boat, you guys come up to here, and you may take your prepared action, Gregory. A fireball, because you can now see.
So whose fireball did everybody else get caught in?
That other fireball was in the ring of spell storing.
Okay.
That don't count against you, so you
No,
shouldn't have lost a slot.
No, that's not a fireball you cast. That's even though you cast it into the ring, that's why I use your stats. But now this is your turn, and you can cast your fireball. I think you guys are brilliantly handling this this fight.
All right, let's see. How are we doing? Let me click on my token. Okay, this is better.
Remember, you can't see through the darkness, so there's no way for you to predict where Olaf and Gray are. Except maybe with your Arcana, you know that the darkness is centered around Olaf.
Can you see where the darkness starts?
Yes.
So he ought to have at least a little bit of a clue from where the darkness.
So you know enough Arcana where you know where Olaf is. But
I can't see Sir Bluto or this other knight.
No, I don't think you have line of sight to Sir Bluto.
Well, there's 3 right in front of you, so...
3 guys. So what I'm going to do is... I'll go ahead and do that. My readied action. Fireballs. Hopefully this token will work. Should I click the target thing first, or it's already checked?
No, what you do is you drag the token out. Hopefully it'll be the right size, unlike last time. Drag the token onto the map. Are you able to do that? I can do it for you.
Alright, I'm dragging it. If I let go of it... Oh, this again.
Oh, I don't know why it does that. Hold on, I'll do it for you. Oh, shit! I'm so sorry. I deleted...
over the whole screen.
I deleted all tokens. Oh my goodness, I'm such a...
boy.
Alright. I can still recover from this. Hold on. Let me... Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Okay, I still remember you guys were here.
Yep.
The clear was with me.
The knights up there were badly injured, so they're up here. These knights are not injured, so they were kind of waiting down here. Khalil's with you. Sir Bluto's back here. So, unfortunately, some of the things may be out of place, but, you know, that's the best I could do.
That's fine.
Yeah, and these guys are centered around a darkness spell.
Yeah, I'll put...
Bluto's not in my
back down
right.
Darkness token, where is it?
Sir Bluto, you can't see. He's out of your line of sight. There we go.
Okay.
Close enough. Close enough.
Yep.
Alright, so...
I like that.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out the token for you. I don't know what happens when you drag it out. It doesn't work. There you go. So now you may place the token. Remember, you can't see into this darkness, but you know where Olaf is in the darkness. I think your Arcana would be able to tell you.
Okay, that's center.
Far into that circle, further this way, you got a chance of hitting somebody else, even if you can't see him.
But then again, Gray could be behind me, and you could end up hitting Gray. You don't know that.
I'm gonna center it between these 3 guys.
Yeah, that works.
I don't know exactly where everybody else is. Now, if I target them, does it auto-target, or do I have to do it manually?
Just click that target button, see if it works. That button where the token used to be, it worked.
No, it worked, and then...
Nice when things come together like that.
Well, no. The problem is when he drags out the token, it's not properly sized.
Huh.
It's not properly sized for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out why, because it works for me.
Alright, so if I cast the roll the dex saves for them, and then... why is it wrong 4? Huh? Oh,
Everybody fails your fireball. Congratulations. What a roll. Everybody fails. Roll your damage.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna I'm gonna use my ability to make it lightning damage instead of fire damage.
Okay. Unfortunately, are you sure you want to do that? When a DM says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Just he really wants to make sure you're sure.
I mean, the fire injured him the first time, so.
You know what? I'll just make it a vanilla fireball.
Okay. Because I was gonna hit you with lightning damage when you electrocute the water.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, my character would probably know better than to do that. So yeah. I was thinking, oh, they're wearing metal. They're wearing full plate, and metal conducts electricity, but metal also conducts.
Water does too.
Metal also conducts heat, so they'll be cooked alive in their armor.
Pressure cookers.
Yep, exactly.
You kill 3 of them.
Nice.
All at once. Bam, they're dead. The 4th one is... The last one is barely hanging on to life. Alright, so that was actually not even your turn. That was your ready to action.
That was reaction.
Yeah, so you're actually... No, hold on. It's not... That wasn't even your turn.
It was Olaf's turn, and then was the turn passing.
So now you're...
Ready action cause he moved, yeah.
You and Khalil have made it to this point now. Khalil has a ready to action, but nothing's in his line of sight.
Should be Knight 2's turn.
No, it's initiative. That was initiative 20. Now it's Khalil's turn. He can't do anything because he can't see anything. Now it's the nourished crumb catcher. This is this knight over here. He is in darkness. He can't see anything. He's swatting away. He does not actually know that you guys jumped off the canoe. It's Sir Bluto's turn, and Sir Bluto looks over. He's like, "They're out of the canoe. They're in that darkness sphere."
Yeah, he would have seen the canoe come out the other side.
At least the other 2 knights would.
Bluto screams out, "Converge on the center of that sphere. That's where the spellcaster is." He says, "I'll handle these guys." And Sir Bluto runs, let's see. He runs over there with a prepared action to swing at you when you come down. Sir Bluto, you can see that this is a really old, he's a fairly old-looking, very seasoned warrior with multiple scars all over his face. He's wielding a massive greatsword. He licks his lips as he stares at Gregory and Khalil and readies his greatsword to chop them in half when they come down. Gray, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to actually...
You do know enough to know how to get out of the darkness. You know that the darkness is centered around Olaf, and if you move away from Olaf, you won't move out of the darkness.
Yeah.
So that part, yeah.
I kind of gave Gray a push in a direction he probably should have.
Yeah, plus I'm a ranger, so I count my steps as I walk out of the darkness over to here. How far is that?
You walk out of the darkness, and then the knights spot you, and they're like, "There's one of them! Chop him down!"
Okay, and then I'm going to use the other fireball in my ring against those 2 guys.
Oh, that's brutal. Okay. So I'm gonna drop. I'm going to drop another token, and you tell me where to put the fireball.
Okay.
Can you move this token?
Yeah, I can actually. Okay.
Gray, in order to not hit Olaf, I need you to roll a little bit of a check. You get an insight check. In order to, if you want to place the fireball to try to get this guy, then you need an insight to not hit Olaf.
I mean,
okay.
You don't even know if that guy's there.
I know.
That is true.
He's been screaming that. I mean, they've been hollering and stuff, so we kind of know a little bit at least.
Yeah, that's what the insight's for. To know that he's there and know that you're
Well, you know, I might as well.
First, you have to declare. Do you want to commit to try to hit this guy?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
now roll the insight.
And I'll use my another inspiration since you so kindly give me so many of them.
Oh, you rejected Blackrazor. You deserve all those inspirations. As a matter of fact, I might just fill it up after you use them again, just for because. Okay, yeah, insight.
This tower or I can't remember.
It doesn't matter because results are obvious. Either Olaf gets fried or he doesn't.
These, for some reason, I'm having a hard time hitting it into the box today. There we go. There we go. I can't even know what it is. Is it not rolling?
It's just
stop rolling with a point up.
And I didn't. Well, I got it anyway.
You got a 24. You definitely avoid Olaf with that. So I'm gonna put it where it hits this poor fellow. Just trying to do his job. And I'm going to roll their saves. We got 2 successes and 1 failure. Now we're going to see if anybody fries.
Phew, that's a lot of dice.
Nobody's dead from that second fight.
Well, I'm not a wizard, so. Alright, so I'm going to get to retrace my steps.
You're hiding back in. No, that's smart. That's smart. They can't see you.
Yeah, so.
But they saw where you went in, so you can see they're coming after you, even though they're going to be blind and swinging at the air.
So if I was to take a bonus action hide, would that give me any extra advantage from being in the dark?
It wouldn't change the situation because even if you're stealthed against them, they would still. You know what? If you wanted to take a bonus action hide and you want to take a non-obvious position, because they're gonna come in, they're gonna attack this area. So
what did you say now?
You can take a cunning action hide, but these guys are gonna come in and swing wildly at this direction. So it doesn't matter if you're hitting or not, you're gonna get wild swings.
Oh, so I mean they're just going to get disadvantage and that's it. The hide's not really doing me any good.
Depends if you move into a position where they're definitely not gonna be at, they won't know you're there.
Doesn't the hide action give you sneak attack?
It does give you sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, but sneak attack's on your next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll go ahead and take the hide. I don't really know what I gotta do. Do I roll? No,
you don't. Because they can't use their perception to see you. This is just darkness. So you successfully hide. But just know that the next turn they're just going to come in and swing wildly in their general direction.
Okay, they're going to fart in my general direction. Okay, and I'll pass my turn.
Okay.
I'm tracing through some rapids to get to us anyway.
Knight number 3 gets down and crawls underneath this thing. He does have enough speed. He gets a little confused. I'm going to roll an insight to see if he can locate the center of the sphere. He has no idea where the center of the sphere is. He kind of... Olaf, you can take an opportunity attack as he crawls around, gets up, looks confused. He doesn't know where to attack. But if you opportunity attack him, you'll probably tell him where you are. So he walks by you. Ends up somewhere over there.
I can cast the spell and not really cast the warcaster feat, so I will cast Green Flame Blade and whack at him with Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
Or Shillelagh and Green Flame Blade.
Okay, go ahead.
Green Flame Shillelagh.
Green Flame Shillelagh.
Yeah, the thing is, once you attack him, he knows where you are. Oh, no. Not gonna happen. Because you swung at him, he gets a vague idea of where you are. He's gonna try to attack you, but of course at disadvantage.
I'm the master of darkness. Bring it on.
All right.
The possibility then, if he hadn't swung at him, he would have just ran on by him and not had the opportunity to swing at him. Is that right?
Yes. He gets 2 attacks. Ooh, a nat 1. He really screwed up. He gets confused again. He actually forgets where you are.
I think he's afraid of the dark.
Yeah. This guy willingly enters the darkness to try to come after you. He swings at the direction I pointed to because they predicted that's where you're going to be. He is swinging at disadvantage.
Should have took dodge. What about that?
You get double disadvantage.
Yeah, there's only one advantage or disadvantage, and they don't stack on top of each other.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing that Pathfinder players constantly criticize 5th edition about. But it also makes gameplay a lot faster.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. Nope. He gets a second attack. Oh! He sinks it in on his second attack. 2d6 plus 3 slashing damage on your hide. I hit something! He screams out. They're here! Olaf, it's your turn. You see that knight number 4 ran in, slashing wildly, and just manages to catch Gray, who also can't see anything.
I just say to Gray, Gray, go help out the others. I'll take care of these guys. And I will shillelagh attack the one that tried to attack me again.
You attack him at advantage.
Attack him at advantage?
Yeah, he's blind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you demand.
Oh, I didn't do that when I did my shillelagh before. Alright.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Alright.
You cheated yourself of a possible attack. Ooh, that really, you bashed his head real bad. He's almost dead, but still standing.
Shoot. I did the wrong damage there. I meant to do green flame blade attack. Anyways.
Is the green flame blade a different kind of... what's the green flame blade's damage?
So, the green flame blade adds an additional 1d... Actually, no. If there was another guy within melee, I get additional damage to that guy. Forgot about that.
No, there's nobody else in melee except for Greg.
Yeah, I don't want it to go to him.
Thank you.
Actually, wait, no. I'm trying. It's some weird, complicated rules with green flame blade and shillelagh together, but I won't.
Well, the damage for the shillelagh should be this. The attack for the shillelagh just should be flat out. The green flame blade, I believe, is an additional attack.
So
it's an additional damage. It's sort of like a cleave, if you remember. Oh, I don't know if you played 3rd edition where you have cleave, where you hit one enemy, do damage to that enemy, and carry over some damage to an enemy next to it.
So here it is. So green flame blade, it does damage. It does your melee attack damage, and does an extra 1d8 fire damage to the.
Yeah. To somebody adjacent. So it's sort of like you have to hit somebody first, and then his friend that's standing next to him takes some extra damage too. So it's sort of like cleave.
No, I'm saying it. So at this level, melee attack deals an extra 1d8 of fire damage to the and the fire damage to the second target increases to 1d8, like your spell constant. So I get, when you do green flame blade and shillelagh together, you do the shillelagh damage and you add an additional fire 1d8 fire damage. Well, we'll talk about it later. It's interesting. heal my D5 anyway. And after.
Oh no! It says the melee attack deals an extra 1d8 fire damage to the target it hits. So roll a 1d8 and do that extra damage.
All right.
Yes, I'm reading it right now. You kill it because he had one.
I get an additional 4 because of my reading soul. So.
Because he only had 1 hit point of left after those fireballs that he ate.
So yeah, I just yell at the gray, head back to where the other guys are and help them out. I'll take care of these others. And
I don't say anything so the other guy can't hear me.
I'll move a little bit closer to the other ones and be like, come get them guys. Gotta be.
Knight number 2 crawls underneath and does the same thing that knight number 4 was doing. He runs in, he bumps into knight number 4 a little bit. Knight number 4 directs him to where to swing, and he's coming after you again, Bray.
Oh! I forgot about an ability I have that will affect this.
Does it apply now?
Yes, a skirmisher, and it is starting at 3rd level. Let's see. You can move up to your speed as a reaction when an enemy ends his turn within 5 feet of you. This move does not provoke an opportunity attack.
Oh, really? What gives you that? I don't
skirmisher.
Remember.
Oh, that's the rogue subtype of scout.
Oh, I see. Okay. He already made his attack, so do you want to? The other one ended his turn next to you, but this guy already made his attack. You didn't move those, but keep that in mind. You got to know all your abilities, man. That would have been an awesome ability.
Yeah, it's a new one, so that's the reason I had forgot about it.
Is that that's part of which subclass? Which rogue subclass?
I think it's scout.
Scout. Okay. Yeah.
Can you find it?
Yeah, I see it in your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he comes in for his second attack. That also misses. So we are up to Gregory's turn. Gregory, you get to act. However, immediately after you act, Sir Bluto is going to take a slice at you guys.
All right, let's see.
Because the canoe's going to move. Oh, and Khalil has to take his prepared action. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Khalil shoots a crossbow at Sir Bluto and misses. Khalil has a second attack, shoots a second crossbow bolt at Sir Bluto, and misses twice. Sir Bluto's got his great sword all primed and prepared, winding up like a baseball bat, ready to decapitate the two of you.
Quit telling jokes over there.
Have you lost your mind, wizard? Khalil looks at you. Be wary, the enemy's going to attack. He says to you as you're cackling.
Perhaps I did, kitty. And I cast polymorph on him and turn him into a cat.
Alright, he's going to roll a wisdom saving throw. He has a bonus to his wisdom saving throw. So he's got a 3 bonus. We're gonna roll that. Oh, and he's got another ability you're not gonna like after he rolls this.
Oh, does he have legendary resistance?
Not legendary resistance quite. 15. That fails, correct?
Yes.
However, he has something called...
Oh, does he have Portent?
Indomitable. So he's going to re-roll that.
Alright.
So if he fails this one, he's gonna be a cat. He succeeds.
He passes. Alright, well. I tried.
Anything else on your turn before he tries to decapitate you?
Yes. Now, if I use Misty Step, can I take Khalil with me or no?
You can't do Misty Step because you cast a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, using my main action, right.
Yes. It's only a cantrip that you can do that. And you can't take somebody with you with Misty Step. It's too low of a level spell for that. Dimension Door, you can. You need higher level teleportation spells to take people with you. You look at Khalil and he's kind of like he's ready to get up and jump off the canoe when he gets the chance.
Right. Well, if I see that he's preparing, that Sir Bluto is preparing his greatsword, I would probably say, his greatsword's got a pretty long blade.
Yeah, that greatsword can reach both of you.
Probably. You know what? Nah, I'm just gonna end my turn.
Okay, it's Khalil's turn. And Khalil's gonna do an acrobatics check. He's gonna jump out the canoe and engage Sir Bluto to get you out of the thick of it. $13 will do it. Khalil jumps out of the boat, comes over here, and attacks Sir Bluto. $17. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
I'd say good job, Cleo, but I really can't see what's going on since I'm in the dark.
Yeah, you're not really sure what's going on. Also, poisoned scimitar. Sir Bluto fails. However, Sir Bluto uses second Indomitable and re-rolls that.
We have.
You're not sure.
You must be a high-level fighter to have most
He fails twice! Oh, this pathetic, miserable guy takes all this poison damage.
At least he was able to use his Indomitable to be able to pass his Wisdom save against my Polymorph spell.
So, at this point, the canoe moves down 90 feet. Sir Bluto is going to take his 2 attacks against you as you go by.
All right.
You ready for this? Sir Bluto takes out his great sword, clearly a magical weapon, finely honed, razor sharp. Attacks you twice.
He's attacking Gregory, not Khalil, who just attacked.
No, he's attacking Greg because that's what his prepared action was.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
That attack, I used my reaction to cast Shield.
Okay, shield takes off that attack. He gets a second attack. What's your armor class now?
23.
Okay, he's got to hit a 23 at this point. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. Here we go.
And it really hurts.
What did he roll?
Not that bad. Not that bad. Okay. So the canoe moves 90 feet. So it moves. You move out of the room. You are all the way over here, out of the room, looking backwards into the room.
Where you going, Gregory?
we'll be without him for a little while.
Yeah, Gregory, it looks like you are returning to the original room and you're going to be going on a roundabout. And you can't do much about it.
No.
Okay.
I'll just wait for the next cycle. Assuming it's going in circles, but I can at least explore what's... Yeah.
The Crumb Catcher Knight. He had a prepared action swinging wildly at you as you roll by. So he unfortunately is going to get to attack you. However, you still have a shield on, so he's not going to have a good time trying to hit you.
And he done disadvantage.
Yeah, he is.
Nope, he misses. He has a second wild swing. Misses. On his turn, he's going to take a movement to get out of this darkness because he wants to kind of assess what's going on. He looks around and he sees Sir Bluto's engaged with Khalil. And he says, "What do I do, Sir Bluto?" And Sir Bluto's like, "I don't care what you do. Get back in that darkness and kill them." Sir Bluto kind of assesses Khalil looking up and down. He second wins. Healing.
Well, that sucker.
And just goes to town on Khalil. Ooh, but that's a miss. And that's another miss. Khalil is dodging left and right. Gray, you're up.
Okay, I am going to go 5. I think that's 10 feet, just outside of the darkness.
Yeah, you're halfway in and halfway out the darkness. You can see what's going on outside.
So I see that Bluto is over there engaged with Khalil.
Yep.
And that's really all I can see.
But if you shoot at Bluto, you have to remember the stream is in a way, so I'm going to give him partial cover. That's a -2 to your attack.
Okay. I'll accept that. And actually, I'm going to try my first attack as a ricochet. And I'm going to, instead of push my luck, I'm just going to go 1 ricochet.
Hey, don't you have some sort of ability that bypasses cover?
Yeah, the sharpshooter do that? That just doesn't come in. I think it does, actually.
Yeah, the sharpshooter bypasses cover.
But do you have to be using the sharpshooter to bypass
I don't
cover?
think so. That's the part of the feat.
Oh, okay. In that case, he does not have +2 cover. You're gonna try to bounce one off the wall and go around that stream and hit him in the face.
And this is, I have to now throw a save, right?
Wisdom save DC
Wisdom
10.
save.
DC 10.
Okay. And add advantage, I forgot. Okay.
Why do you have advantage on the wisdom?
Because I'm going to use one of my last inspiration.
I gotcha. You see, when you use these inspirations, you dramatically affect combat.
There we go.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. Get back to my. Okay, so.
You do have the effect on, so you can just make the attack.
Okay.
But remember, you qualify for sneak attack and swarm and all that.
Is there sneak attack with this also?
Oh yeah, I do get sneak attack.
Khalil is adjacent.
Damage. Well, I get that anyway because of hide.
That's true.
My last turn I hid. Boy, that didn't add my. It didn't add all my stuff, did it?
You attacked at a +9.
Oh, that was, I did the ricochet. I mean, I did the wrong. I did the wrong longbow. I did the ricochet or the.
No, that added the +3 from the ricochet.
Yeah, but it also takes -5 when I use the wrong bow. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, it doesn't matter which bow you use. The
yes,
effect...
it does because I get. Yeah, it does on the ricochet longbow. I get +7.
Oh, you're
and
not.
then plus
You're not doing a sharpshooter shot.
No, I was doing a ricochet shot.
You can do both, but
Well, I wasn't doing both. I just
see.
called the ricochet shot.
Okay. What's
I just hit.
So what should be the attack?
You want me to just do it again?
Okay, go ahead, do it again.
Okay, so let's see if this does it right. Sorry about that.
Apply your ricochet stuff again, because the damage disappeared. The effect is... Oh no, it's still there. Never mind. Never mind, it's still there.
Okay, so I hit then, right?
You want to add sneak attack and swarm and stuff also?
Yes.
You roll? Okay.
My stuff gets confusing sometimes. Okay, so where's my rogue sneak attack? Sneak attack, and all the way down here is Swarm Keeper. Okay, so now I should be able to use this damage.
There you go. Big shot.
So I'll take, and now I'll just take my second shot. I'll just make it a regular shot.
Oh, a nat 1.
Oh my gosh, my rolling is horrible. Okay, so I'm just gonna move back into the darkness this way. Let's see how far that was. Yeah, that's 15. I moved 10 the first time. Okay. And that's it for my turn, I guess.
Okay, knight number 4. He was previously attacking where you are. He heard that there's some commotion and a bow went off and stuff like that. Now he's not really sure where you are anymore. He's going to swing wildly where he's at. He knows he's at the center of the circle. He's going to try to get a move off.
Oh, he doesn't know he's in our circle anymore.
He doesn't? Why's that?
Well, if I moved like 10 feet forward, he wouldn't know if the darkness would move 10 feet forward somewhere.
Did you move 10 feet forward?
No, but he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that, so he's going to make his best assumption and swing wildly here. If you move, then he'll swing wildly there anyway. And he... Ooh. His random swinging connects with something. Now he knows where you are after he hits you. 11. Roll concentration. You get advantage, you're Warcaster.
Yep.
You maintain your concentration.
Are you doing anything else?
He's got a second swing. That second one also connects.
You guys are rolling really good.
Oh, you need a second concentration. Was that with advantage?
That was with advantage.
Uh-oh.
That is probably the end of...
Uh-oh. Now, your darkness drops.
Delete my own token.
Did you disappear? Was that some warlock trickery?
I was trying to delete the token and I deleted myself.
Oh no, now you're facing down these two armored hulks. As your darkness just dropped.
But it's my turn.
It is your turn.
And
you're badly injured too.
I'm badly injured. But I can possibly fix that. Using my inspiration, I'm like, oh crap. To get advantage on this swing, I am going to shillelagh attack. Number 4.
That's gonna hit him.
We're gonna roll damage on him. This is green flame blade step. And
did it add your? Oh, you did just add it.
Yeah, you do a decent amount of damage to both of them, but these are well-seasoned, armored, veteran warriors. It's going to take more than that to bring them down. These guys actually were not involved in your fireball shenanigans earlier, so you're still whittling down their health.
Then bonus action. I'm going to cast a bunch of healing on myself. 2, 3, 4. Good one, I can do 4.
Alright.
Alright.
You add a more respectable number of hit points. Knight number 2. He is going to step in the middle of you two, putting himself in opportunity attack position if you kind of try to run off. And he's going to go after Greg.
Ooh.
Really wish that Gregory stuck around.
I was muted. I said I was going to use my skirmisher.
Oh, you can't use it right now, can you?
Yeah, he moved with it. He stopped his movement within 5 feet of me.
Yeah, but his turn didn't end, did it? Like you have to do it at. Do you have to do it at the end of his turn?
It just says when his movement stops.
Oh, okay. So at any time his movement stops there, you can do it, even though he didn't end his turn.
Well, I mean, you can read it, but it doesn't say anything about his turn. It just says when his movement stops.
Yeah, because
when he ends his movement, which you have to end your movement to make an attack, even if you got more movement, right?
Oh, okay. Move. You can go ahead and move then. He moved.
Okay.
He only moved 5 feet towards.
I can move. I know, and I can move up to 30 feet.
I think it's half your speed.
Is it half? I can move. Yeah. Okay, you're right. I can move up to 15 feet. And he doesn't get an attack on opportunity, so I just need to decide where I want to move. It kind of don't matter because he'll probably just follow me. So 1, 2. That's probably about 15 feet right there.
He watches as you kind of dance around, and he just shakes his head. He's like, "Fine, I'll kill this one first." He turns towards Olaf. Ooh, that's gonna hit.
Well, the lack of darkness sure is making this tougher.
He nat ones his second attack. That's a no bueno for him. Gregory, unfortunately, not much you can do on your turn. It is around initiative 20, so I'll just do this on your turn.
And he could cast Misty Step back into the room, couldn't he?
Oh, yes, you can. Gregory, would you like to do something on your turn, like Misty Step into the room? You can't jump into the room, the turn's too fast.
And that's a bonus action. You'll have an action, right?
It's a bonus action.
Use my bonus action to Misty Step back into the room.
Actually, yes, you can actually cast a spell, too, before the current takes you away, if you want to cast a spell while the current takes you away. Or you can Misty Step into the room. It's your choice.
I'm going to Misty Step into the room.
Okay, show me where you want to end up. Just go ahead.
I'm going to go... Wait.
It has to be within your line of sight.
Okay.
A little more over, yeah, well, probably right beside that little bend in the river would work, or that might work too.
Yeah, if it's over here, perhaps. I'll do that. We'll go over here. I'll Misty Step over to here.
Oh ho, the wizards entered the room. The more the merrier. One of the knights screams out.
I'll use my bonus action to cast Misty Step. And then I will use my main action to cast Minor Illusion.
Is Minor Illusion a cantrip?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you going to cast it? And what is it going to be?
It's going to be the voice of Sir Bluto.
Ooh, I like that.
And
what are you going to say with the voice of Sir Bluto? I like that.
he's just gonna say.
I'm
gonna say, alright, well, if these guys notice me Misty stepping into the room, do they notice me Misty stepping into the room?
Of course.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, of course they do.
Okay, so Sir Bluto, I'm gonna have the voice of Sir Bluto say, he's just using an illusion. Ignore it.
He's just using an illusion. Ignore him. All right, and you hear the knight say, "Yes, sir." Anything else on your turn?
No, I'm gonna end it.
All right, Khalil going toe-to-toe with Sir Bluto. Dances with his scimitars. That's a miss. Miss. He's going to cunning action disengage. Run over here, crawl down. That's 5 feet. This is difficult terrain. That's 5 foot, 20 feet. Gets over here. This knight, he is listening to Sir Bluto and ignoring you. He 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will. He kind of has to. He's kind of crawling out, but he doesn't have enough movement to attack this round. But he comes out and surrounds you a lot.
I was gonna say,
because you have to crawl under the stream.
Oh, he's crawling under the stream. I thought he was going through it, like.
No, you can't. It's too rapid. You'll get swept up.
That's what I was gonna say. If it's running rapid, then it would have swept him away.
There's 2 feet under the stream that you can crawl under with difficult terrain. Sir Bluto screams, "Come back here!" Crawls under the stream, re-engages Khalil. Ooh, that's gonna hit Khalil. Second attack. That's gonna hit him twice. Gray, you're up.
Okay, so I am going to cast Hunter's Mark. Make sure I click that off. Knight, Nourished Crumb Catcher. You make these names up.
No, they're automatically imported. But I adjusted his stats based on what they tell me. The Nourished Crumb Catcher, looking really pathetic. He doesn't have as much armor class as the others.
So I am going to take a shot. Obviously, did I get the hunter's mark on him? Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm going to take a regular shot with him on him. And that's a hit. So I should get sneak attack because I have a a friend right beside of him, right?
Yeah.
And
We're going a little overtime. I'm just trying to finish up.
That's all right.
This is a really odd place to end the session.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just looked. That's no big deal for me.
Okay.
Okay, so and damage.
That destroys him. As an arrow pierces his throat, he kind of stumbles backward into the water and gets swept away.
One down. So I'm going ahead and might as well take my second shot at night number 4. I get no extra bonuses except for I can't move Hunter's Mark because I already did that. So it's just be a regular damage if I hit him, which I did not.
You net ones on that one.
I know, my that's how my rolls have been going all night. One good one and one really bad one. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to. Can I short my bow and draw my sword and run up there?
Sure.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to be right here and hopefully take some of the heat off Olaf.
Oh, Olaf definitely needs it.
And in my turn, a bonus action, then a regular action, then that's it.
All right, night number 4 was engaged in fighting Olaf. He net ones.
Copycat.
And he misses a second time. Oh, Olaf, you have the luck.
Like the second wave.
You have some sort of god smiling on you tonight. All right, it's your turn.
Let's go with Old Faithful. He can green flames slowly whack all these guys. Hopefully doing enough damage to end him. Do attack on number 2.
Oh no.
I meant to use inspiration, oh well. That was.
Unfortunately, you don't have 2 attacks as a warlock.
Nope. That didn't go as planned, guys. And I don't want to run away from these guys, so.
This knight turns to you, Gray, and seeing that you rejoined the fray, he comes over and swings at you.
You know, I just swung at him.
Nat 1.
He nat ones Gray. He does a 2, not that much better. Alright, these knights are really giving you a little bit of a breather. Gregory, you're up.
Okay, I'm just gonna meander my way over to here, and if Sir Bluto is within my line of sight, but he's busy with Khalil, I'm gonna try casting Polymorph on him again.
Alright. Roll his save.
Alright, so I'm gonna target him. Boom. And boom.
Unfortunately, Khalil rolled a little bit too good.
Yeah, he rolled.
Not Khalil, Sir Bluto.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, he shouldn't have any more Indomitables left, but I don't know what level fighter he is.
The enemy NPCs don't always go by the rules of characters in terms of their abilities. So he may have 50 Indomitables, even though he's not that high of a level. But you don't know how many Indomitables he has to use.
So that didn't work. And I guess I'll end my turn.
Alright, Khalil is busy engaged with him. Actually, Khalil kind of turns over, looking at you guys engaged. He wants to come over and help you. He is going to use his cunning action to disengage Sir Bluto. He runs over here, thereby giving himself sneak attack.
Nice.
But a 1's not going to cut it. Oh, that's gonna hit. So he gives himself sneak attack. Does his damage. 15 points of damage. Then the poison comes into effect. He fails his poison saving throw, and I think that's the end of him. No, not yet. Just barely hanging on. Sir Bluto now comes over. He is going to get adjacent to both Olaf and Khalil. He lets out a laugh. Oh, you've killed a lot of good men today. Let's see if you can't do the same with me. He's going to have one attack on Olaf, one attack on Khalil. First, it's going to be on Khalil. That's a hit. Oh, he knocks Khalil unconscious. Second attack on Olaf.
Weave, Olaf!
He misses Olaf! Alright, Gray.
Okay, so I am going to...
The knight number 2 looks like he's barely hanging on to life.
Right, I'm going to attack him with my flame scimitar. I don't think I need to do anything.
You do have sneak attack, etc. if you choose to use it.
I think since he looks so weak, I might save the sneak attack for this other guy.
That's smart. You know what? Take an inspiration for good, good combat tactics. Roll a damage.
Okay, what's all that damage come? Oh, because of flame damage by flame tongue. I forgot.
Yes, you are correct. That was enough to kill him. You didn't waste your sneak attack damage.
So as a bonus, I'm going to put my hunter's mark on knight number 4 and attack him. And also, obviously, I'll use, if I hit him, I'll use all that extra damage on him. And I did hit him. So, rogue and swarm. At least I'm getting a little better at finding where these things are on this sheet.
Yeah, I tried to make it easier for you because you're, it was kind of confusing before.
Okay.
That kills him! 2 kills!
Alright, so...
Impressive display. Even Sir Bluto has his eyebrow raised. A worthy opponent, perhaps.
Perhaps. So Khalil is the...
Khalil's down unconscious.
Okay, well, I'm going to move up here, hopefully to take some of the heat off of Olaf and hope I can survive. Hey, let's see. Can I take the cunning action dodge? I should be able to do
no, dodge is not a cunning action. Cunning action is hide, disengage.
Well, I don't want to disengage.
Yeah,
dodge.
Hide you can't really hide in this case.
Yeah,
dodge is not among the cunning actions, or else
That's
it makes
right,
rolls way too powerful.
Yeah, because dodge will come in, if I take another level, I'll get the... What do they call that? Dodge, so... Yeah, uncanny dodge, but I can't get that now. Okay, if that's the case, I will pass and grit my teeth.
Olaf. Now there's 2 of you against Sir Bluto, but this guy is pretty nasty. 2 of you plus Greg in the back.
Olaf gonna do bonus action. Raise up Khalil. Give him a little bit of health.
Okay.
That could help.
Say it's 4 against 1. And And I say, you're nothing compared to some of the guys we have fought so far.
Alright, Khalil takes a breath. Ready to get up.
And then I will be swirling around a big ol' shattering thunderous shatter. And just basically just target him with it.
Okay.
Keeping us out of range and they have a nice night. And
you can target him, cast a save.
Yep.
Oh, yes, he's got a pretty high constitution save. +6 to his constitution.
Phew. And I rolled an 18, wow. He still gets half damage at least.
Oh, he just looks at you and shakes it off. It'll take more than that to take me down.
And then that will end my turn.
Alright, Gregory, what do you have up your sleeve?
Let's see.
It's big, man. We got to get rid of him.
You tried polymorphing him twice, but he unfortunately has...
That ain't working.
No, it's not working. At this point, I can do... I've got an idea. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile on him using a 3rd level slot.
Okay, that's instant damage.
That sounds, better.
That's
not bad.
Yeah,
wow.
all these bolts of magical energy fly out of your hand and pelt him left and right. Ow! Ow! He screams. He's like, when I'm finished with your friends, I'm gonna take some special care in taking care of you. Everyone screams. Khalil gets up, prepares his scimitar, gets behind Sir Bluto to find a good spot for his sneak attack. Scimitar attack. Oh, he shouldn't be attacked with disadvantage. Or I don't know.
He hit anyway.
He hit anyway,
he was
but
prone.
Oh,
he was prone.
Yes, he was prone. That's why. Man, okay, that doesn't matter. He hits anyway, so he does his scimitar damage. Saving throw for poison. Oh, and Sir Bluto fails, taking the full 3d6 poison. And also, let's not forget about his sneak attack. 5 points of damage.
Is that 4?
And Khalil has a second attack with his scimitar.
What's that 5.4?
Sneak attack.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Khalil's also a rogue.
All right.
He's an assassin rogue with poison damage. Okay, that is a second hit. Oh, Khalil is on fire. Not that much damage, though. Okay, Sir Bluto, I'm sick of all of you. He
get poison for that?
No, it's poison damage, not poison effect. Sir Bluto, yeah, there's different. No, not the second. He only gets once per turn, or else he's way too powerful for two. He has to reapply it every turn.
Okay.
Sir Bluto spins around like a whirlwind. He's going to attack Khalil and Olaf because he sees that you two are the most likely to go down. First against Olaf.
Second weave.
Oh, he caught you, Olaf. He caught you. He anticipated your duck. Second greatsword attack against Khalil. Ooh, but that second one misses. Gray, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to put the Hunter's Mark on Bluto.
Yeah, unfortunately you're not a fighter. You can't do that interposing shields, all that stuff. Yeah, there's that barbarian trick where he has to be a target of attack, or else he gets disadvantage. Well, you don't have any of those feats, so you're just gonna have to tough it through in melee. That's a hit.
All right, I'm going to add rogue and the swarm. Go. Oh.
And that's the end of Sir Bluto.
That's another tough one.
Yeah, congratulations. 2 tough combats are in 1. You guys, we're gonna end. We're gonna, of course, end the session here.
Yep.
You guys look around. There's no sentient weapons in this room. There is some loot, but you get no sentient weapons or anything really spectacular.
Well, I would also check for like secret passages, doorways, levers, that kind of stuff too.
You don't have to roll, because what you do find is you find a key on Sir Bluto, and you find a key on Sir Bluto.
Oh,
and
cool.
After some thorough searching, you find a secret passage going this way. But just to expedite things, you open a secret passage, you go through it, and it just ends up in the same hallway you came from.
Oh, okay. Well, then we don't have to cross.
Okay, yeah, we'll next session we'll distribute the loot since it's getting late. Unfortunately, because it's okay, that's the end of this session.